in light of the tragedy today in Nashville, we just want to say that, my heart is really just broken, as I think a lot of people's are. This happened just right down the street from me, and it's just heavy, man. It's a lot, and we just want to say that we are thinking of those people who are suffering, and praying for peace, and just praying that comfort finds them. And I know people have different thoughts on prayers and stuff. That's fine. I'm not trying to solve the problem today. I'm just trying to take some moments out of my own life to think of other people, I guess. But yeah, just wanted to say that that's on our minds and hearts over here. And it's just it's been just a heavy time, and it's a fresh, heavy thing, and that's what's going on. And we're grateful to be alive today and to be able to have a podcast and to sit and talk with people that we care about, and that you are alive today to listen. So thank you, and we love you guys. I want to let you know for touring that we will be adding dates eventually for Australia and Europe, the UK, everywhere. We're adding places as much as we can, and trying to stay sane and well at the same time. So looking forward to getting over there. Just had a great week in Houston and Corpus Christi. And just want to let you guys know that. There are still a few tickets available for Medford, Massachusetts, New York, Las Vegas, Uncasville, Connecticut, and Toronto, Ontario. All those are available at theovon.com/TOUR. And if some of the tickets get outrageous, they won't be outrageously priced through us, but if through resellers they get outrageously priced, then just hold off. We'll come back through. So I don't want you guys spending a ton of money. Thank you very much for the support. Today's guests are two comedians who have countless years of comedy experience between the two of them. One of them, Mike Vecchione, has a new special, which is out now on YouTube's, and it's called The Attractives. And it was produced by Nate Bargatze, and that's where you can watch it, on Nate's channel. And they are both here today. Nate is a household name at this point. I'm grateful to sit down with both of them. Today's guests are Mike Vecchione and Nate Bargatze.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song I will sing it. I'm on
How much water do you guys have each in the day?
I'm trying to have a lot more. I'm trying to have a gallon. That's one of the biggest things to do, is have water. Yeah. One of the best things you could ever do.
Yeah.
Is the most, it's seeing how much people are dehydrated.
Yeah. You don't even know it, but it's like you should have that lemon water in the morning. First thing, you take a lemon, just put it in water and a NutriBullet and just grind it up and then chug it. It refreshes all your electrolytes first thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How much? A whole lemon in there?
Just a whole lemon, just cut it, peel it, and put it in with water and then just chug it.
So you take the peel off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people are dehydrated. Science says we should have a ton of water.
Yeah. People are very hydrated.
You think they are?
I think so. I mean, the percentage has got to be 85%.
Yeah. What, hydrated or not?
Dehydrated.
Oh,
dehydrated.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it could be that high.
But it's one of those things too, where it's like you don't realize it. You're that you're that dehydrated, but it's also like one of those things where it's like you're not breathing right.
Yes.
It's one of those things either. It's like you're just a shallow breather.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, maybe you're just like burning off all the water because you don't breathe. You're not getting like the right depth of air or something.
Yeah. I mean, they're not related, but it's like one of those things you just take for granted. It's like, yeah, I'm getting enough water. If I'm thirsty, I drink it. That's how I'll know I'm dehydrated, you know?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, there's no problem by breathing. It's like, no, you need to be doing these deep breaths all the time.
He does deep breathing.
Deep breathing.
You do?
Yeah.
He's a big habit. I mean, he does. We talk. Like,
Hey,
I feel like
fuck.
you would like talking to him about getting in some. There's the structure this guy has. Is,
That habitualness?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how much water that I have or how much I like having. I think I like having it. I think, science says that you are supposed to have a pretty much, I don't know if a gallon, you think you have a gallon a day?
It's I forget the percentages of your body, but it's,
You know what? I think I want to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I think we already started, Mike.
Did we start?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Go to the bathroom.
I didn't
No, I
realize we
can't
were
talk
on.
to somebody who I know has fully.
No, I'm good. I'm not.
No. Bro,
I didn't know we actually started.
but it's not cool, I think, if somebody's
Yeah.
full of piss. to be
Yeah,
talking
no, I'm
about
not
people.
full. I was just gonna. I was like thinking it. I didn't
But I
realize.
would get it out.
If
Now
you
we
need to.
know.
Now we know.
What do you think he should do,
I
Nate?
don't know. I think I'm fine him waiting out. And if he has to go, then he has to go sit in the car till we're done. We don't.
Yeah, like a child.
Yeah, they're like, you should have went before, Mike. So you didn't.
I didn't realize
So now
we
you
even-
go wait in the car
But
till
I
we're
didn't-
done.
But I didn't realize we started.
Well, that's how every podcast.
We were doing the headphones back and forth thing. Was that on it?
That might be. It might have been a fun time. I don't know. Maybe it's a good time to gather some things.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to listen to this guy, man. You got to listen to this guy.
There's your 15 and a half cups, 3.7 liters. So, like, there's like a liter bottle from. But I try to. It would be to try to drink 4 liters a day.
Oh my God.
That's what I mean. It's so much that you're. It's just you need so much water.
Yeah.
And these, I mean, I drink coffee too, but the coffee dehydrates you.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks it all out. I drink a ton of diet soda. I love it, but it's all dehydrating.
Oh God.
And so everything's dehydrating.
Yeah, and the water in New York feels like it's heavily treated.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, like the water here.
It's supposed to
feels
be like the best.
fresher.
Don't they have it on top of the building?
They say it's the best, but I don't know. It feels heavily treated.
That's what New York would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New
Water's
York
heavily
is-
treated.
yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like some
We're the
Italian guy
best.
made
Yeah.
that up. Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
water's more educated than your water is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
That's the attitude.
Yeah.
That's the attitude of up there.
Dude, I had to work. I got court ordered one time to work at this water treatment facility in Louisiana, dude, and they're not. People are sleeping on the job.
Yeah. Some stuff's getting through.
I mean, it's
You see
fucking-
like a float go through.
I
Or
mean,
you see
it's
some
like,
trash.
You see some stuff that I remember
don't-
seeing people laugh about the fact that somebody was going to try to drink that.
You don't see. I just picture you have like a paddle and you're supposed to grab that trash and you just go, that's too far, and you let it go through, and it's going out of someone's sink. Someone's sink just flows, and they're like, "But water's not going." Yeah, you got a tire stuck on the other end of that. That's what.
Yeah, man. They had a lot of, I remember in the last tank, like the stuff that's supposed to go out, like it's supposed to be pure or whatever. I remember finding a bunch of barrettes in there and being like, oh, God.
Yeah.
We're not
Barrettes.
doing our job. Barrettes, like hair barrettes
barrettes,
for
yeah.
children or adults, I guess.
Yeah.
Why would people be throwing those away? I read water meters.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. So like depending on seeing how much water everybody uses.
No way. And was it crazy? Who was using the most? Like, was it, like, what ethnicity do you think was using the most water?
Women.
Yeah,
probably.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
say. I know it's March, but
That was this Women's Month.
it's Women's Awareness.
Oh,
It is?
Yeah.
yeah,
Who wasn't aware of these bitches, dude? I'm
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah.
And, they're all I think about or they're all that I'm dealing with, It's
think
like,
about how
who
much
ain't
water they
aware
use.
of them?
Yeah.
My wife is better with water than I am.
Really?
I will leave it running.
Yeah.
I'm not good. When in LA is like you're supposed to turn the water off and blah blah. I was not the best at that.
And what do you mean? Like, you'll just stay in the shower for a long time? Or you?
I could take long showers.
Yeah, I like
if I brush my teeth and I go pee, I can leave the water running and I'll go pee and then come
And
back.
what's your mindset there? It's just like, why interrupt the flow of it? I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
to turn it on and off.
Yeah, you got to turn it on and
Smart.
off, so it's like you just leave it running. Anything that
Or do
can
you
help.
consciously go, I hate the earth?
I do. Anything in my head that thinks this is good for the environment, I do the opposite.
Dude, I was like that. I remember whenever they first came with like electric cars, I remember driving down the road and just I had a gas cell. I was just pouring gas, driving a gas powered car and pouring gas out of my window.
Yeah.
Like out of a gas tank, just like, fuck it. We're not going to lose.
You're not going to lose. I had...
And we lost.
We lost. It goes. It was very expensive for you to go drive around. You had to double fill up.
Oh, yeah.
I had gas. I delivered mattresses and appliances here in Nashville growing up. And or when I was 18, 19, 20. And so we had a 26-foot box truck that we did, and it got the gas tank, the fuel tank, because you put diesel in it, broke, and we're driving down 24, the interstate here, and we didn't realize it, but it was leaking fuel the whole way. So I mean, from we get off, we fill it up, and it got punctured somehow. I forget how. And then it leaks the whole way, and then we get off, and I mean, there's just a trail of diesel. And so you'd have to go, when we were driving, you'd have to, especially to another place, you'd have to go through weigh stations, that weigh your truck. And then someone came up, and how we fixed it was just putting duct tape and spray painted it black over it. Mm-hmm. And so this lady came, and like she was like an official, an officer that's like checking our truck. And I mean, it was
DOT,
like
Department of Transportation.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty thorough.
Yeah.
To put black duct tape over it. And paint it.
Well, so we're driving.
Very Italian kind of.
So me and my buddy are driving, and where Jamie's driving, and Jamie does not have I don't think he has a license, and like he has a lot of criminal stuff. So he's driving. So he's like, oh wait, you need to get in the driver's seat because we're about to have to go through this weigh station. So in the middle of the interstate, I have to stand up, and we switch places. Now I'm driving. We pull in, and then she's like, I'm gonna come check your truck, and I'm like, dude, if she sees that our fuel tank is just duct tape, like we're gonna go. I don't know what, you might go to jail. I don't know what's gonna happen. So then I'm like out, like I meet her halfway out, and I'm just trying to stand on like the step to try to hide the duct tape, and we hit it.
Oh, you hit it?
Yeah,
She didn't see it?
She didn't see it.
What a bad inspector.
Well,
You see that would probably be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't think they expect anybody to be doing that. I think they. I think
that's like low. That's like really bush. It's almost like that would have happened in like the early practice trial. Like this is something nobody will ever do.
Yeah, they go, should I check to see the duct tape on the fuel tank? They're like, nah, obviously not. This is, it's like.
Yeah, these are adults.
It's like, it's like this is the 2000s now. I think we're in the future. So I think that stuff's long gone. That's how they.
Dude, I remember one time my brother, we'd been, we grew up by this river, and across from the river was the back of a rest area by the interstate, and a lot of gay men and stuff would meet up over there and, not gay men, but they would do enough drugs where they would become
gay.
Yeah. Like drug induced gaying.
Right. Yeah.
And so one time, anyway, somebody drew a big wiener on my brother's back, right? And we got back to the house, and like we were just trying to like hide it hide the back of my brother from my mom. Yeah. It just reminded me of that, dude. And then when she saw it finally, she got so fucking pissed, man. We told her that some adults
you would let
did
someone do that?
I didn't. I mean, I couldn't help it. They were adult.
Yeah.
These were adults doing it.
He actually drew it on his back?
Yeah, drew like a, like a wiener. Or penis.
Yeah.
But one time we rented a car, and they got a dent in it, and we caught a pigeon and made it shit over the dent to kind of cover it up before we turned it in.
You got to just hold it and just.
I mean, you got to squeeze a little.
Yeah, to get it out.
Just to even catch the pigeon and grab. I've never held a pigeon before.
Well,
but we're just trying to avoid that fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I would think anybody that could catch a pigeon, it would be you, Theo.
I think they don't even notice I'm there at first.
Yeah, I think they go, you're one of us. They go, what's up, man? You go, hey.
When you were squeezing it, did you go, I hope you had a big lunch? Because what?
Pigeons have to go to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah, they're ready to go. You don't have to do much. You can almost even whisper to them, hey, just do it.
And the pigeons down here are probably healthier than the ones like in New York and other areas.
Can you
the New York
imagine that?
pigeons don't look healthy. They don't look like they're living a healthy lifestyle.
No, I think they're going to the bathrooms rough. As you're eating so much
Yeah.
Probably
regular
'cause they haven't had
food.
enough water, you know?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, they
dehydrated.
probably other penguins holding their wings while they go. It's just too. It's like a lot of. They
Yeah.
need some real help.
Todd Glass, I remember, had a joke about a pigeon. You ever see a pigeon? He went out to his car one day and he goes, and this pigeon must have been like, oh God. He just let it go. Like it was just all over this car where you're like, the pigeon's stomach was crushed.
I couldn't imagine being one of those real guttural animals. Like even shrimp hang out at the bottom of the ocean and just eat. Really, probably duty that comes out of other fish and. Oysters are supposed to be like sponges that purify the ocean. Like the water's supposed to go through them. They're almost like the air filter for the ocean. And we go and eat them, which is insane. I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But they're aphrodisiac too somehow, aren't they?
maybe trash is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What does aphrodisiac mean?
Makes you horny.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I thought it meant.
Yeah.
Trying to think of things that make me horny, really.
Oysters, pigeons, water. If you had more water,
Oh, God.
that's what you need.
Yeah. Dude, so we're talking about, I want to thank you guys for coming in and hanging out, dude. And I was there when you guys taped Mike's special, right? That
Yeah.
might have been the last time that I
Yeah.
saw you guys.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
At Zany's.
At Zany's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this to come out. March 24th.
And so you started how did you guys kind of figure this out to do it?
We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And Nate moved. He moved to LA. So and then to Nashville. So but over the years, like he would come back and do the Tonight Show. So then I would see him and we would hang out and stuff. So we were just, he was like, why don't you come out and open for me? I was like, nah, I'm headline, whatever. And then as time went on, then he was like, no, do a date or two. And so then I started going out on the road with him. And then when we were on the road, he was like, hey, it was his idea. Like, if you do an hour, like I'll direct it and produce it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Mike's unreal.
Yeah.
And so one
I
of the best
loved it.
comics in
I
New
love
York.
watching the tape.
It's so good. And it'll be on my YouTube on March 24th. But it's so good. And it's like you're seeing this. We talked a lot about this last night, like the way it's all kind of going now with specials or like doing stuff like that. And I'm clean and comic. So like this special Mike is going to be clean. Like, because it's like that, just kind of my world is like kind of that, and it's it's like for clean comics, they don't get the level of comic that Mike is. Like usually, like clean is, it's basically just being like TV clean. We did Comedy Central stuff. You did a half hour. You did all this. You had to be TV clean back when you did that stuff. So it's kind of making stuff like that. But putting specials out because we got his coming out, then Greg Warren, and then Joe Zimmerman I taped 3 hours. And so it's just being super fun and super funny. It's what I think you do well as, where you're super fun. When people go see you live, and the thing that I've always told you, you love your fans. You love the people that come out to see you. This is my favorite thing is that, afterward you go and you're with all of them and you're just the love you have for these people. And the love they have for you is something it's getting lost in entertainment, and there's such a disconnect with a lot of things where people they're not just they I don't know your people are paying to go to these shows and all this stuff. You're like, show them the respect to give them a good show and be just entertaining and be fun. Be a break for everybody. No one needs this. Everything doesn't need to be this super heavy kind of thing or this, I'm smarter than you, I know this, and I know, it's like just go be pure entertainment for them. And that's what I want to do. And that's what his special is going to do, and like Greg's and Joe's, where it's just like, it's being fun again. Like make things be fun. I think stuff is, like I said, too heavy, people got they're too smart for,
That's a good point. Everybody feels so smart now since we all have, smartness kind of adjusted because everybody has the same access to stuff now. So it used to be somebody had to be smart.
Yes.
Right.
Now somebody just pulls up something they believe that somebody else has an actual like a circumference of that knowledge or like a full look at it,
Right.
and they just say, "Well, look at this." You
Yeah.
know,
If you have a good
everybody's
memory,
smart.
if you have a good memory, you can come off as the smartest person ever.
That's a good
Because you could just say all the things, and then I'm trying to do a joke about. I didn't go to college, and so I'm trying to do a joke about college now. But not that I'm against college, but it's like I didn't go. I feel like college is you go to learn big words, and so then people just say these big words, and then someone that like I didn't go to college, so I don't know these big words, and so then you're just like feel like you're out of a conversation because you're like, well, I don't know what that word means.
Oh yeah, somebody
And then-
went in and dropped a big one on you.
Yeah, which is, and then you're just like, well, I don't know this. So then you're like, you feel dumb.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but I think I can talk what you're
Right.
saying. I just don't know the word. I don't know all those words.
Yeah.
But
It
I
feels
think
like people are flexing on you.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst, huh? When
Mike
somebody-
went to
I went to college. I went to
went to
Penn
college.
State.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
yeah, very arrogant.
Yeah. I pride myself on talking down to those who didn't go.
Yeah.
That's what he does, dude.
I like to make them
That's
feel
what he does.
less than. Less than.
Yeah, dude. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think.
Diminished is a word maybe you don't
Oh,
get. But
yeah.
that means less than.
Is that good? Oh,
That's less than.
I thought that was a positive thing for me.
Of diminished. Yeah, it sounds Japanese.
It does.
If you put the accents.
You say that right in front of the American flag. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I love it.
This past weekend is brought to you by BetterHelp. You know, getting to know yourself can be a lifelong journey. You know, we talk about that a lot on here, and heck, I'm still figuring it all out. And I know I'm not the only one. And therapy helps me. It's helped me a lot over the years. I still go every Friday at 3 p.m. And therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding. Because sometimes we don't know what we want or what's going on, or we can't get a good look at ourselves if we're the only ones looking at ourselves. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/THEO today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/Theo to get 10% off your first month. It's springtime, baby, and it's time to tidy up. It's time to get up in them crevasses, baby, and trim about around your wiener, dog. You know it. De-hair that ween, baby. Get it nice, buddy. Let the wind hit it. You know what I'm talking about? Manscaped. That's right. Join the other 8 million men who trust Manscaped. Use code Theo to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. They got a beautiful performance package 4.0 that you can groom your body with. And you can get that ball care bundle, baby. The lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. The weed whacker does the ear and hair nose trimmer. Get all in it. God, get it out. If you purchase now, you will receive 2 free gifts. The Performance Boxer Briefs and Shed Travel Bag. So you can make sure you got everything to take care of your bag is in a bag, baby. That's it. Save 20% off and free shipping with code Theo at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code THEO at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. You know I'm a big fan of Raising Cane's. You know it? You know it. Them chicken fingers, boy, gosh. Makes me wish every chicken had 1,000 hands on it. That's how tasty they are. And that dipping sauce, badal. And I put it inside of me. They're good. The Texas toast, that's buttered up. And they got them crinkle cut fries, baby, dang. Like somebody just remixed a regular fry. And they're tasty. And I got to tell you this. I like the Caniac combo. That's my choice. So now that your mouth is watered up I got to tell you, it's easy to order canes on their mobile app or online at raisingcanes.com. Satisfy your canes fix fast by ordering through their app or online at raisingcanes.com or stop by your local restaurant. You know I like it, Canes. So that's the special, so to be out on the 24th.
Yeah, March 24th.
And were you nervous doing it? Because I remember being there that night. I'm trying to think. You had on a black, like long sleeve.
Yeah, that's
right?
the funny thing. Like Nate dressed me completely. I'm not ashamed to say that another grown man dressed me completely because I don't really know how to dress. I have bad.
He didn't wear anything crazy, but it was like I gave him like I had a black sweater.
Yeah, it looked like a safe bet.
Yeah. I go very basic colors. Just I don't know what I'm doing. So he
Put a little effort.
It had that
into
rehab graduation vibe. It was almost like, hey, this guy's graduating, his family's coming to see him.
True. It did have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it goes, you go, come on, man, you're doing better. Your mom bought you that. She laid it out for you. You're reintroducing yourself to the family because the last time they saw you was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So you're reintroducing to your family. Your mom lays it out. You're seeing your grandmother again. Last time you saw her, you called her some names. So, and you show up, and it looks like this rehab's not going to take. Like it was like this one is you're going to go back.
Yeah.
But this is your first one back out.
Yeah, you're like a newborn baby.
It's just a new, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll keep a bottle near you in case shit gets
Yeah,
weird.
the dress was huge. It was. I don't like to have to think about. I understand why people wear the same thing every day.
Oh,
it's like
dude.
you don't have to think about it. You just like put it on, put it on. Like
I think about that all the time.
I love that.
To wear
I
the
love that.
same thing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how on
would love
stage
it.
I wear the same thing for
Yeah.
the past 2 years, maybe, or 4 years almost now.
Yeah.
It's just the easiest,
Yeah.
Black shirt and black pants.
Yeah.
It's the same
you do wear
exact
that.
ones.
Yeah.
It's just easy for me. I can't, if I get too much opportunities to think about stuff, I don't do well.
Yeah. I agree. I don't, but I think about it. I think about it just in regular life. Like just buy this same stuff, wear it everywhere, and then that's it. It's a lot of decisions.
Yeah.
You need to get decisions out of your life.
And one color too. I think that's one thing that the black culture does well. They'll be like one color. Like today, Larry is fuchsia.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's top to bottom.
top
And
to
he
bottom.
goes full fuchsia. Like he will
Yeah.
fucking fight for the fucking fusion military.
Yeah.
He will. He's eating Asian fusion for lunch. There's no he is full fuchsia for that day. You couldn't fucking, if you came near him with a little bit of fucking lavender or a little bit of fucking tangerine, he'll flex on you.
Yeah. That is true.
But they've mastered the art of that. Let's keep it simple,
Yeah.
You go with a good cologne, a fucking sturdy cologne, and you go one color.
Do you wear cologne?
I don't wear it anymore. I think cologne these days kind of signifies you're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
You've obviously been, I think it's kind of two things. Either you've never looked at pornography or you've been cheating on your spouse.
Cologne is a good sign that you're cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I think that's correct, actually.
You wear cologne?
No, I wear Axe body spray,
Do you really
which is
still?
I'm not ready to cheat, but I still want to smell pungent.
Yeah.
I think pungent is a good. Nate, do you get pungent?
It's not good, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's an aggressive smell.
You spray Axe body spray?
Yeah,
Do
all
you
over.
really, Mike?
Yeah, at the gym.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
He's like a
God.
maniac.
You don't have,
dude.
so you have a family? You don't have a family, huh?
No, I have a girlfriend and I have I have a family, but not in the sense that like traditional men have families, like a wife and kids.
Yeah.
I have a mother and a brother and a sister, but I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So you have an original family, but you don't have your own family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Original.
Yeah,
same
original
kind of
That would be
family.
my original family.
Yeah, he's very put together. He wrestled at Penn State.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I
Really?
wrestled for 1 year. So
But you were on the team.
I went through the training and everything, and the second year I was like, I can't do this. This is so much work.
This was the
It was so much.
this was the 60s. Go ahead. Mike.
What was
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean,
when
Lyndon Johnson got into
this is before
office.
black people were allowed to wrestle. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, yeah, you only had to
Talk
wrestle
to him.
whites. That's easy.
Yeah.
Fucking-
We all made the Penn State team, I guess.
Yeah, everybody did. But after the first year, I was like, "This is." I mean, the guys were so good. It was the training was so tough. Sometimes we'd have to work out 3 times a day, and it was just. I'm like, I can't wrap my head around it. So I didn't do it, and then I really enjoyed the rest of my college career because I was friends with a lot of those guys, and I lived with them, and so I had a great time just not having to do the punishing. I still love the sport, but to be honest, like I wasn't good enough to be there. Really, I placed in states in high school where I was from, so I was good for my area, which is Florida, which wasn't. I started wrestling in Ohio and then placed in states in Florida where I went to high school, and so I was good for my area, but we were number 3 in the country the year that I wrestled there, and we had just all Americans and national champs all up and down the lineup. So it was just going to practice was just taking beatings every day. But I learned a lot, mental toughness, all that stuff. So it was great. It was a great experience.
You think you could beat, like Bobby Lee says that he wrestled in, I don't know what he was in, an internment camp or something, but he said that he wrestled at some point.
He had to wrestle.
Yeah.
He had no choice. Yeah.
He probably wrestled for, oranges or whatever they had for dinner. But do you think you could bring up Bobby Lee in a wrestling? There you go. You think you could beat him in a wrestling?
I don't know his background. Like, I wasn't the best athlete in the world, and I also wasn't the best technician. I worked when I was on teams. I would really work hard, and I was like hard nosed. So I can't say that about myself.
Yeah,
but
that's how I describe his comedy.
Hard nosed.
He's not. Well, no, he's not the best at everything, but he is. He does show up, and that's what people come see when people buy tickets. Just know it's not gonna be the best show you've ever seen, but Mike will show up.
I will.
Yeah. He's like a union worker of comedy in a way. Yeah.
I'm blue collar. I'm very
I
blue
love
collar.
that though. So bring it back up. I want to see that picture. You don't be honest with me.
I don't know.
Y'all be in different weight classes.
Yeah, we're different weight
I
classes.
don't know.
But
Let's get a current picture of Bobby Lee then, and see if we could. There you go.
well, I could tell you. If I could win by knowing his background. What state did he wrestle in?
California.
And how California's California's a wild card state. You could be real. There's like really good guys. You wouldn't think California is a good state. It's not good as Pennsylvania or Ohio or Iowa, but it is very good.
That's an actual picture of him during the tournament.
Yeah. So bring up that picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you beat? And don't get it confused with his brother. Just bring up a current picture of Bobby Lee. Let's get real. I just want to get to the truth here, Mike, because people are going to come see it. They want to see the truth.
Yeah, they want to see exactly.
Can you beat this guy? Zoom in on this man, please. Can you beat this guy in wrestling?
Can I beat him in wrestling?
I mean, just ask yourself honestly.
Now.
It's real easy to answer.
Right now.
So.
Well, right now maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm in decent shape now.
Well, you're
not in wrestling
You're
shape.
in shape.
I'm
This
in
guy,
shape.
Yeah.
this guy is definitely is more of a tapas, I think.
The other guy we did, Greg Warren, who's special coming out after that, he wrestled from Missouri.
From
Was
Missouri,
All American.
Oh my God.
Nate is doing nothing but wrestlers specials.
Yeah.
now.
Well, they just had the national championship on this weekend, I think.
And Penn State is unreal now. They're
Joe
really-
Zimmerman, college golfer
Oh, he
for
was?
Davidson. Yeah. But Greg Warren wrestled with Michael Chandler's brother.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Greg Warren, I say this on every podcast because people in
Yeah.
the comedy community is small. They go, "You wrestled, Greg wrestled. Who would win? Who would win?" I'm like, Greg was on another level. He was an All-American.
He was that great.
He was really, really tough.
Did y'all come across that fox catcher guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that was happening when I was in school. But yeah, no, I saw that movie. That was crazy. He was out of his mind.
That was when you were.
That's when I was in college. Yeah, but those guys would go, like the top guys on the team would go train at Foxcatcher because for the Olympics and stuff.
And what
But
was he
that guy
doing? Touching people, or he was abusing them?
I haven't seen the movie.
I don't know about that. Like I don't know the facts or everything, but I can't imagine.
Oh, you're
doing,
on his side. Go ahead.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
I don't even know.
Oh, he's
I
a
don't know anything
Foxcatcher
about
I
it.
sympathizer?
can't imagine him
He
doing
is.
that to this level of wrestlers, like touching them and being like not having any repercussions. Wrestlers are not
They don't
stable people, and
Yeah.
they're not gonna play. I don't care how much money the guy has. So I can't see him like being predatory against these types of guys.
Yeah.
These types of guys are very, very tough guys.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
like-
know the guy's a billionaire and all that stuff, but when somebody, fondles you, all that goes out the window. Maybe not for you guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me,
Yeah, you would put a stop
for
to it.
me, you have to put a stop
But
to
the
it.
level wrestler you're at, I don't think you could take him.
I'm trying to think.
Are we saying that though? Like, would you have trouble with it? You would
As a
would
Bill-
you right now just be saying, well, he was a different weight class, so I had to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What if he just does a naked choke and you're like, this? I don't think this is a fucking move,
Yeah.
You know?
You go,
You're
"Is this-"
naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
Double
how is
naked?
this, dude?
So Nate, you're helping produce 3 specials.
Yes.
Okay. And are they all coming out is it to be sequential? Like should people?
Yeah. It's like March 24th. I want to say roughly a month.
Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
Something like that. All
Nice,
on my YouTube. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's like guys that have been around, like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mike.
I've been
Mike's
around for a
done
long
specials.
time.
Mike's done everything, and it's we were talking about like last night about where the specials are going, where it's just such a different thing now. There's not and we might. I'm going to be doing something else too. That filming something with like some newer comics, some not, where it's like kind of a Live at Gotham kind of
Nice.
thing. But it's comics. If you're starting now as a comic, what do you got to do? Like for us, we did Live at Gotham. I think we did it all the same time. Didn't we all do Live at
like
Gotham?
you and
the
I
same?
did it around the
Yes.
same. I strongly.
We did it.
2008.
We did it the same year.
I think we did it the
2008.
same year, 2008,
Yeah.
like
and we did
Live at
half
Gotham.
hours in 2010. We did half hours the same
Yeah.
year.
Wow. In
Yeah.
Boston, did y'all shoot yours?
No, I shot mine in New York.
Oh, you did.
So you were Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we
they
were
picked
all
different
about the
areas.
same
Yeah.
same time. And so like there was a path that comics had to take,
Right.
like where we did, Live at Gotham, you did half hours, a Comedy Central hour, and then, then Netflix came. But now for young comics, you're like, I don't know what you have to do. Like there's no you can try to do a late night set. But outside of that, you're like, I mean, an hour Netflix, like, there's not, I get Netflix did some 15-minute stuff,
Yeah,
half hour
stand-up
stuff.
wise, there's nowhere to go. There used to be steps to measure yourself. Okay, I'm going to shoot. I did my 8 minutes on Live at Gotham. Now I'm shooting for this half hour. It's like, I didn't get a half hour this year. It's like, all right, let me tighten it up and like try again next year. Like there was some ethics to like,
that's a good
progressing.
point.
Now it's just like, let me try to get on TikTok and have a video go viral.
And then do an hour. Like
Right,
then the first step is an hour. And that's not the best.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, that's a strange flex. Do a lot of people think that you think a lot of comics feel like they need to like do an hour now?
no, I don't think, I mean, I think
Or the
specials,
first thing they put out is an hour?
the first thing they put out is an hour. And guys have been doing comedy. Like, the thing with him and Greg and Joe is like, these are guys that have been doing comedy for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been doing it for 20 years too. Like, so it's like, we've been doing it for long times. He's been doing it for a long time. So it's like, you're showing him to go do an hour. You're like, yeah, dude, he can headline. He does an hour. But then there's comics that are newer, and it's like, I mean, their only outlet is to be like, well, I got clicks on TikTok or whatever. I'll put out an hour. And you're like, man, it's hard to build up to be able to do an hour. Headlining, like, it's not an easy thing. Like
right.
it's but guys are going from they have a couple clips and it's to then just putting out a full hour special.
And I think the discipline of working in the clubs, the way that we all worked in the clubs, is now, it's not totally out the window, but I don't think we had no choice but to grind in the clubs for years and years. And that's not a thing anymore. It's not as big of a thing as it used to be.
That's interesting.
Because, podcasts and TikTok and Instagram, it's like, oh, this is where I'm going to have my success. Why am I in the clubs every single night?
Right.
You can be loosely funny now versus having to be, when you're on stage, it's like, no, it needs to be exact.
Right.
Because an audience is there and it's an immediate reaction. And now it seems like you can shoot a bunch of videos and then you just finally pick one that works or, whatever it is.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My stepdad's in the hospital. Not really. He actually passed away a couple years ago, but he
But he would be in the hospital.
my mom thinks about him a lot.
Yeah. He would still be in the hospital if he was alive today, probably.
He probably would. He was a warrior. He was a union guy.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't give up. He showed up.
Wow.
Even in a coma, he
I
was
love
there
it.
every fucking
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
Non-responsive.
Yeah. Clocking in, clocking out.
Every
Yeah,
day.
every day.
We like to call it active listening.
Yeah.
That's active listening is another positive way to say non-responsive.
You think would you go get it all out to because a guy like that, if you have a dad like that, he probably didn't you get to talk to him that much.
Yeah.
So when he finally gets to that coma, you're like, go let it out.
Oh, that's a great podcast idea. Coma chatter.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
bring sons in that never got to tell their dad they love them or something.
Yeah.
And then
I've thought a lot about that. Like a special. I've thought a lot about, I did this ketamine therapy where I got to, and there was a moment during it where I actually got to spend time with my dad, right? Like as real as you and I are sitting right here, that's as real as it felt on any sensory level, right? Which is crazy. I wouldn't just say that. I'm not a guy, I don't know ghosts or anything like that. I'm not that guy. But I got to spend time with him for maybe about like what felt like maybe a minute or 2 minutes where it was as real as any sense of mine ever knew that anybody was real.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be interesting if if they had like mannequins or something where you could bring your parents' old clothing or something, or if your buddy got hit by a truck or something, or, drove into like an embankment or something and died or something, he was peeled up. But you could go bring their stuff and then you spend time almost with the mannequin, or maybe you put all of it into like a machine and the machine creates a hologram of them. And then you get to like I wonder if they'll have that kind of stuff in the future, or a place where you get to redo the dad's coma, and there's like a fake dad in there laying in there. Some guy's like the new Santa or whatever at the mall, and he clocks in and you go in and you fucking sit by the bed for 40 minutes or whatever and get it out.
But is ketamine a hallucinogen?
Yeah,
It's,
dude, this shit.
Is that cat tranquilizer? Is that what it is?
I wouldn't be shocked, dude. I'll
But
tell
I
you
thought
this.
that ketamine was
Dude,
because I used to do that on stage. I'd be like, "Are you guys all on ketamine?" And then because you guys feel like tired cats. Why do you want to feel like a tired cat?
I don't know.
But I didn't know it was a hallucinogen. I thought that was like acid or what's the other thing that's like acid, but it's safer and everybody does it now. You can do it. You can go to a place and do it. And
the thing Aaron Rodgers did?
yeah, it's like that kind of. It's
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, yeah.
Oh, I felt like
That's a
I
big
was like a
word.
Bitmoji
That is a
stuck
big
in the
word.
back of like a. I remember one time thinking I was like a gigabyte or something stuck in the back corner of like a Foot Locker. Like I was fucking out there, dog. This
And
shit-
where do you do this at? Like in a room?
Yeah, just in a chill room.
You go somewhere to do it?
Mhm. There's like a therapist in there with you, so
Yeah,
it's like guided meditation
Right,
kind of
right,
while you're
right.
doing
Yeah.
it.
So you did that?
Yeah. That was pretty cool. If you're just shooting up at a fucking outside of a Jimmy John's or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way to,
Right.
to do it. Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
That's the old school.
Right.
the
Yeah.
old- yeah.
Yeah, that was more the freelance version, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But this is more a little bit more sanctioned. But to get back to what you're saying, yeah, I think it would be interesting if they had like kind of reenactment stuff where you could go through and redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're talking about? Comas? How we get into
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I like your podcast idea of going to somebody with a coma that you have a lot to get out, and they're in a coma now, and you could just tell everything. Just go 40 minutes,
Yeah.
just go 45 minutes, just talking about your feelings with nothing coming back.
Well, it's
Somebody
interesting
will
because
love
sometimes you need that.
You just post whatever the relationship is, and then you just go right into it. But I don't know if hospice will be cool with it.
But also, if you could get a blip on their thing, that would be it. It'd be like
Oh,
blip
yeah.
hunters. And we
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
we sit with somebody who's in a coma and they have their line or whatever on their heart reading.
Right.
And if you can fucking get them to blip or something,
You got through.
that
Yeah.
person wins. Yeah.
That's great. Turn it into a
And if he
Game
doesn't,
show.
if you don't get a blip, then you're like, this guy's good. This guy. You're like, he doesn't feel any. You're like, no, he's willing. Yeah, it would be if you knew you were gonna die and still not give it anything in at all. Man, it's a strong person.
Yeah, to go to the grave with something.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go to the grave with all my secrets.
Mm-hmm.
You got to tell them to somebody, tell them to a nephew.
Right.
Tell them to somebody who doesn't need,
A nephew. And throw that all on a nephew, like a young nephew.
Oh, a nephew's just a time capsule for your bullshit, I feel
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah, a nephew. Yeah, it's like someone that's like, I didn't really know my uncle, and then I really knew my uncle. Like just right before he died, he just unleashed on me, and I got to carry that around. That's my mom. He was talking like like just a lot. It's just a lot to throw on a nephew, but it's got to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To get back to kind of what you guys were saying about I think having clips and stuff obviously is helpful to people these days. Yeah. I think people more than ever want to see a person get to know a person and their personality.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's even what's nice about being involved in like podcasting worlds.
Yeah.
And, is that people want to get to know somebody because for so long it was so formulaic. It was like you just got this person that had kind of been through this system. and the system was all kind of dictated, and that's who kind of got to a level where people were able to see their work.
Right.
You know, and now I think people are wanting to get to know people more.
Right.
Maybe, hypothetically, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then so they listen to podcasts and they get to know people. They get to know people that are on the episodes. It's a pretty small universe after a while.
Yeah.
Right.
And then and so then they feel a little bit more connection. So then when they're sitting in the audience, they're also getting to see this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person and not just the material.
They get to know where it kind of comes from.
Right.
Yeah, I think they, you know, I sat in the audience one night. I was watching a guy a podcaster, and I was like, oh, a lot of the audience, I could feel it. They're just excited to be here in the room with them.
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, it's cool. And I even felt, I was like, man, yeah, this is cool. We're literally just hanging out with them here. If the material is good or bad, then we're hanging out with them here. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where they got to feel the love though. Like it's like like when people go see you live, it's they want to be able to feel that appreciation you have for them coming out, and like that doesn't need to be taken advantage of because it's expensive to go see anything to do anything anymore, and so they want to feel that you care as much as they do.
That's a good point, man. I got to remember that sometimes to let people know that I care. You know, sometimes I don't forget.
I think it shows. It's going to show. I think it shows. I've seen you at your shows, and I think it shows. And
Thanks,
it's that's an important thing. 'Cause there's people that don't have that, and I mean, I think a big aspect of Hollywood doesn't have that anymore, and the stuff that a lot of stuff they make is so disconnected, and it's it doesn't translate. That's why Top Gun was the biggest movie, because it was like, not that you're going to relate to it, but it was like you felt the appreciation of just as a moviegoer to be like, you gave me a fun movie, dude. Like it was just, I had a good time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't this giant, heavy, whatever thing.
Yeah.
It was just a good time. And it was a time when everybody needed that to go, I just need to go have some fun.
Fucking fun for
And
2
like,
hours.
Yeah. And everybody had a blast. Tom Cruise does an amazing job at that. With,
That's a good point.
yeah, all Mission Impossible, all that. Dude's just a fun dude. It's just super fun. And then other movies, or these movies, and a lot of times in Oscars, where people, you're like, I've never even heard of that.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I get it's probably this artistic masterpiece or whatever, but you're like,
Yeah, like
majority,
gay Da Vinci or something. It's always
Yeah.
like if somebody was gay that we can't ask if they're gay anymore.
Yeah.
You know? It was like Homo Napoleon. And
Yeah.
You're like, that's
what,
a
dude?
movie? I don't know about
I don't-
that,
yeah.
dude. Yeah. Harriet Tub women. And you're like, I don't know if she was a lesbian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're just like, that's true, dude. Why has Hollywood got so disconnected, you think?
I thought the movies in the 80s were great, man.
They were great.
That was just like it was just
But
like
they were
fun, whatever. And I think that now we overthink everything. It's like, if something was potentially offensive, it'd be like, maybe they probably didn't mean it that way. They were just trying to have fun. So everybody just didn't take it for more than it actually was.
Yeah.
So now I think we're just so hypersensitive.
They're not, I don't think they're like relatable, or like there's not, used to go to the movies and you could be like, that was you in the movie.
Right.
You could relate to it. You could see,
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? Like it's like a kid that's skipping school, and it's an extreme version of it, but it's a fun version. That's
Vacation. Vacation is
Yeah.
like everybody's been on that vacation. You know what I mean? Family just going.
That's
and
why
everything
Entourage
goes wrong.
was so big, because Entourage was just like, if you made it, and you're like, this is me and my boys.
How would you
we
be?
made it? And you're like, we'd be like that. We'd be they were living it up, and that's why that show and that even the movie, like dudes loved it, because it was just like, yeah, dude, that would be us.
Yeah.
And you wanted to live through that,
Right.
And that's what made stuff so.
And I loved it too, because they always did that thing where it's like, we didn't get it. Oh, we can always go back to Queens and just chill as boys. And then wait a second, we did get it.
Yeah.
I love it. And everybody's like, it's just like, it's coming, but it's just like,
It's just nice.
it's nice. It's nice. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the whole Entourage.
Oh, Entourage? I never seen it.
Oh, it's great.
yeah.
I'm saving that for when I get a little bit older, I think. There's some series I'm saving. The Wire, Sopranos,
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle, and what was one you guys just said?
Entourage.
Yeah. Those are 4 big ones that I'm saving. Trying to think of what else I'm saving. You guys saving anything?
I watched The Wire, and that was a lot. I didn't really like it was. I need to probably go watch it again. It just feels like a whole thing.
By The Wire. I was really blown away by it.
Really?
I thought it was
college educated.
I thought it was the greatest thing. Yeah, it's probably for us.
Wrestling.
It's probably for a smarter crowd.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was unbelievable, and I thought The Sopranos was really good. But The Wire is just so well done.
Yeah.
And
I
didn't
liked
get the
Breaking
credit
Bad.
it deserved at the time. Obviously,
The Wire did.
no,
Or-
not at the time.
No,
When
yeah.
it was on, it didn't get the credit. But
Yeah.
afterwards, people are like, "It's brilliant." You know, it's a great show. I mean, most people, not you.
I think it's it's supposedly great. It's great. I think it was just a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talking, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
talking. It's
Yeah,
a lot.
it's a lot of
It's
talking.
it's an intricate story. But the guys were writers in Baltimore. The guy who created it was a beat writer in Baltimore.
Oh, respect.
So that's why it's like you could see like that guy like actually knew what was going on instead of like most cop shows, which is a caricature of what's going
Right.
on. You know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's interesting. I could see that. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I could see that. That's interesting. I used to love In the Heat of the Night was a show that I loved. And then I always romanticized Little House on the Prairie. I love that.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
I love that
you ever
TBS
watch that?
television.
never really
You ever
watched
heard
it.
of
I'm
it?
aware of it, but I never watched
God,
it.
dude, you don't know the fucking
House on the
hardship,
Prairie.
boy.
It was
But
yeah.
know
you
what
guys
we-
in Nashville, I guess.
You don't
it's
know what we
required.
went through, dude. Our sister got kicked by a
Southern,
horse and
yeah.
went blind,
Yeah,
dude. You
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's like a Nashville show or Southern.
Southern
Rural. It's a rural,
It's a rural show.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it
Like
probably
Andy
is.
Griffith. We watched that. It's probably a rural show.
I went to the statue where they have Andy Griffith. Bring that up. There's a statue of Andy Griffith in Raleigh, Charlotte.
Yeah, I want to say Mount Airy.
Yeah, but Mount Airy is like kind of close to somewhere. But there he is. Oh no, that's
Barney.
That's
It's
Barney.
Don Knotts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was just talking about Ron. Ron Howard's got a pretty wild career.
He has, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, just to be on that show.
Yeah.
You're on this gigantic show to go to Happy Days.
Yeah.
To then start directing movies that are the
Happy Days was really great.
huh?
Happy Days was a great
Were you
show.
entering college when that came out?
And it was like kind of a rebirth for Italians. I feel like, wasn't
The
it?
Fonz.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Fonz was the best.
were they Italian in, or
I used to tell
Yeah.
my clothes used to be a Fonz joke.
oh
It was-
Fonz was Italian.
Fonz was
yeah.
Italian.
Yeah,
Arthur
Arthur
Fonzarelli.
Fonzarelli. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have this Fonz joke. It was, oh, did you guys hear what happened to the Fonz? He got AIDS. And it didn't end well, man. And some woman one time yelled out like, "I have AIDS," and everybody's like, "What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
lady?
yeah,
This ain't
wow.
about you.
This yeah,
what
it's
I'm
about the Fonz. Yeah,
God.
This is about Italians."
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Jesus,
It's about
dude.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?
Be smart. Don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. Those are all phrases we've heard 100 times. Yet we continue to still have bad habits. Dang. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is not a vape. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. That's right, Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. It'll keep you busy. Head to Try Fume and use code Theo to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kick-start your positive habits. That's TRYFUM.com and use code Theo to save an additional 10% off on your order today. I'll say this, it is worth giving this a shot. If you're trying to kick a habit, this will help. Hello, Fresh. That's it, baby. HelloFresh. When you're things are too hectic, Mama's running around. Little Lance needs to go to the bakery or something. And Mama's got to get him over there. And Danielle's got a softball game or something. And she's not that good at it, but you guys are taking her to play anyway. Y'all are busy, family. That's why dinner can't overwhelm you. That's right, make mealtime easy with HelloFresh. They offer delicious recipes made with fresh, wholesome ingredients delivered to your door. No lines, no hassle, just great tasting meals you can whip up and enjoy in the comfort of your home. HelloFresh has 40 weekly recipes to choose from for all meal occasions, lifestyles, and preferences. Take your pick from meals like soy glazed salmon with rice or mushroom and chive risotto. I had the risotto. Man, I love risotto. They did it right. Delicious dinners are a cinch with HelloFresh chef-created seasonal recipes. Powering up with protein is easier than ever. Just check the Protein Smart tag on their menu to quickly find recipes featuring 30 grams or more of protein, like one-pot pork and black bean chili or creamy Dijon dill chicken. It's really easy. You go on the website, you put in the ones that you want, and bam, HelloFresh is delivered to you, and it's delivered fresh. You're getting seasonal ingredients picked at peak ripeness for quality you can taste. Ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know that they're fresh. It's so easy, man. You open the box, you put away the ingredients, bam. When it's time to cook, the card is right there. It shows you exactly what to make. Do it with the child. Do it with Lance. Do it with Danielle. Or just do it with your spouse. Be romantic, or do it by yourself. And be solo romantic and treat yourself well later on. Go to HelloFresh.com/TheoVon60 and use code TheoVon60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's right. Go to HelloFresh.com/TheoVon, the number 6, the number 0, and use that code TheoVon60 for 60% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, baby. It's good. Oh, you got to pee or not?
No, I can hold it now.
He's good.
I wrap my head around it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
He's just mentally tough.
Yeah, mentally.
He's a
trying
big
to-
mafia guy too.
I love the
you?
mob. I love because all these guys have podcasts now.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So
a lot
I
of these
listen
guys,
to all
huh?
the podcasts and stuff, and I'm just fascinated by what it was, because I followed it when I was growing up. You know, I'd read all the books and everything, and then and now what it's become with all these guys having podcasts. It's really something.
Yeah, what's a good one? If I want to listen to some mobbing and stuff like that, what's a good one to get into?
Well, I think that it goes the higher ranking member that you are when you flip, the bigger the podcast it is. So like Sammy the Bull, I watch his. It's fascinating.
Graviano, is that him?
Gravano.
Gravano, yeah.
That sounds like some kind of a gravy that you would get
Like
at
Graviano?
Graviano. It's
Yeah.
like, give me
You
the
would ask what
Graviano.
that is at the rrestaurant. You go, "What's this Graviano?" You got to look it up.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
Like it's French.
yeah.
Is that
yeah,
ever
all right.
even a deal?
We can't afford it.
Yeah.
But he was like
Take one for the table.
he was the
If you don't mind splitting that appetizer up.
he was the underboss of the Gambino crime family, and he flipped in like 1990, 91. And he got out of prison in 5 years because of his cooperation, but then he got caught in an ecstasy ring in Arizona and went back and did 20 years. And then he got out. So now he has this podcast and he's telling these stories, and they're just riveting. So he was a very high ranking member. Plus, John Gotti, everybody knows his name. He is big name recognition. So he's probably the most highest profile guy, because he was an underboss of a huge crime family. But Michael Francis is another guy who was a Colombo captain. So the higher rank you are, I think, the bigger your following is coming up when you flip.
Do you have to be pure Italian to be in the mafia?
They had a rule where it was for a long time that you had to be Italian on both sides. I mean, way back in the day, I think you had to be Sicilian on both sides. But then Italian on both sides. And then I think now it's your father has to be Italian, because you become what your father, that's the way they look at it. What your father.
But they're still, they're not like now It's not.
Now it's like they don't kill anymore. There was a thing on the commission where they were like, not because they're more moral
Did
or anything.
Peter got to him?
Yeah. What's the commission?
The commission is the bosses of the 5 families in New York, and then families from other cities. They sit on like a national commission and decide policies for the entire mafia in the
Like
it's
at
all
like an
connected.
elk lodge? They meet up.
Like Knights of Columbus.
Yeah, Knights of Columbus. I think I did a show for them.
Do they? Is there still the mafia?
There is, but they don't. I don't know what the word. This is in your wheelhouse because I don't know what the word. What's
I might know it.
moratorium?
Oh, moratorium?
Yeah, what's that mean? I think it's a moratorium on killing, which is like they don't do it anymore. They don't kill anymore, and it's not because they're moral.
Is it more
Temporary probation. I used it right.
Okay.
I did
Temporary
use it right.
probation of an activity.
Yeah, so it's a moratorium on killing, which means it's not because they're moral people or anything. It's just that they'll get 30-year sentences for murder. Like if there's a murder conspiracy or something, if they get charged with racketeering, or gambling, they might do 5 years, 7 years, and these guys can do 5 and 7 and 10 years. Like that's not a big deal to them. But if there's a murder conspiracy wrapped into that, it automatically goes to 30 years. So because there's so many cooperators now, they go, okay, it's not profitable for us to kill each other anymore. So what they do now, I think, is they just put guys on shelves. It's called putting a guy on a shelf, which is they just don't talk to him anymore, and he's not allowed to be involved in any mob activity.
Wow.
So it's
So it's
interesting.
like timeout kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a timeout,
Yeah.
but they could have been doing that all along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
But
like,
what would
you
we
didn't have
talk
to kill
about?
anybody ever.
Yeah.
That's what we don't realize sometimes. What would we talk about now if throughout history they hadn't all been killing each other?
If they'd have been just timeout, it would have been, you wouldn't have taken them serious. Well, you go put me in timeout?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I will.
But the thing about that is I don't know how they threaten each other now. It's like, you owe me money. The whole big thing I had over you is like, you better pay me or I might kill you.
Yeah.
With, like I say, I have a dangerous reputation. So now that people know, it's like, oh, there's no more killing. It's like, I guess I could hurt you.
Yeah.
But
I could
it's like, that's
TikTok
not the
about you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I could tweet it.
I could cancel you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe they could threaten that.
Right.
They're going to just put it out like this guy talks about women pretty roughly. Like, don't do that to me, dude. Don't do that. I have a family. I have daughters. He goes, well, yeah. They could. Is there? So what are the mob? What's their crime now?
It's mostly gambling, even though gambling is legal.
Loitering. They're not
And-
doing anything anymore.
Yeah,
Nah, they're hanging out.
That is
Hanging out on
loitering. Can you
social
make money on loitering?
Loitering. It's loitering.
Loitering.
It's gambling, and they still have union. They're corrupted unions and stuff, and
Like a lot of trash and recycling.
trash
That's all
and
a lot of mafia business.
hauling. That kind
Yeah,
of a thing.
recycling's always a loose. You're like, what is recycling? Or I don't know if I believe in recycling.
Well, some weeks they pick up the bin, some weeks they don't.
No, yeah, what are they doing? You ever see Atlanta's airport has a recycling thing, and it says like paper, or bottles, paper, and then regular trash. And if you look inside of it, it just goes to it's one bag.
Oh.
It's not separated.
Right.
It's at Atlanta's airport, and you're like, well, we're not even doing
Well,
it.
I think there's cameras to see what kind of a person you are.
That's what it's about.
more or less, yeah.
And then it affects your credit score probably.
Yeah.
That's how the New York water system is too.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
all the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm over there watching a Lego set go into someone's house. First of all, also, why did they have it court ordered? Why were they having court ordered people work at the water facility? That seems like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd want to
What?
protect the water.
well, you'd want like a technician or something. I remember they put these goggles on us, and I'm out there like, just making sure that there's nothing in it. Like, fuck, I don't fucking know what's in it.
Yeah. Oh, you're really doing like science stuff.
I
Or-
guess. I mean, you had to like have like a like handies and footies on or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you were out there and you were just watching the tanks,
Yeah.
I guess.
Why would they have the criminals basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no background check.
Yeah. This might have been mob related.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
really could be. We got Dirty Water, right?
Yeah.
That's my fucking mob name, Dirty
Yeah.
Water.
Was the mob in the South?
No, they never. I mean,
Florida, but
Florida, but New Orleans. Carlos Marcello was in. They were actually responsible for the Kennedy assassination. Those guys, like some of the bosses, like Carlos Marcello, I think was one of them, who put together the Kennedy assassination.
Wow.
The guys who really did it.
yeah, I watched something on that where it was like supposedly like 8 dudes.
Yeah.
Like a lot more people were involved, and
Yeah, it doesn't seem
Well,
like
part of the
one dude-
Irishman was like that, where it was like they were transferring guns over to, because I mean that's just too convenient that Jack Ruby, who was an associate of I believe the Chicago mob, he was in Texas at the time, and he Oswald was the patsy, and then he shot Oswald on TV. It's like he owned strip clubs in Texas and was directly connected with the Chicago outfit.
So that makes a lot of sense, you think?
I think it makes a lot of. I think they were the ones who did it. They felt. I mean, you could hear them on wiretap. They were illegal wiretaps at the time, but they were furious that they felt like they got Kennedy elected through their unions, and
he turned on them.
And he turned on them with Robert Kennedy as the attorney judge, just going after them. And they were like, and those guys were like not what they are today. They were very, very serious guys.
Yeah, and
they could get stuff done. They would not care. They would not bat an eye at it. So I think they were the ones who did it.
Wow, that really sounds really, really realistic. Than just that some guy than a lot of other vague kind of Russian conspiracy stuff. It sounds a little more far fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Oliver Stone thing was like, it was like the Cubans were involved at this level. The Italians were. I don't think it was like that. I think it was one group, and I think it was the mob at the time, and they were just like, we've had it with this guy. He's like, he's putting pressure on us, and and the thing was like, oh, kill Robert Kennedy. It's like, no, the whole thing that they said is cut the horse's head off and the body will die, which means kill the president and then his attorney general will be ineffective.
Yeah,
but they killed him too.
They killed John F. Kennedy, but then Robert Kennedy was killed by Sirhan, who was not related to anything.
Bobby Kennedy's been on here before. He's a friend of mine. His Robert Kennedy's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He, I think he might be running for the Democratic nomination, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat, but he's kind of like a new Democrat, I think you would almost think. I think that party needs to kind of figure itself out a little bit. They've gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
Everything. It's like, if you're not like a trans cornrow or something, you're not even getting elected.
Right.
Yeah, I watched the thing with the JFK. There's with the JFK, there's shooters, there's someone in a sewer.
Yeah,
too.
crazy.
You ever hear the sewer?
Well, the grassy knoll thing, I think explains it for me. It's like there was gunmen in that grassy knoll, and the way that the elaborate way that they set it up. I mean, just for the disappearance of Hoffa, how that could how prominent that guy was, and how famous that guy was, and for him just to be. For them just to go, he needs to, he was warned, in the movie, The Irishman, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the story's he's warned several times because he goes to prison, he comes out, and he wants to take the Union back. And his predecessor, Frank Fitzsimmons, was the head of the unit, and they loved dealing with him more because Hoffa would resist them a little bit. I'll give you this, you give me this. He'd work with them, but he wasn't a complete patsy for them. Fitzsimmons would just give them whatever they wanted. So once Fitzsimmons was in, they were like, we're better off with him being the Union president. And Hoffa was like, no, I want my Union back. And they warned him several times, back off. You're a nice man. You have a nice family. Back off. And he's like, I want my Union. I want my Union. And finally they were like, okay, that's it. And they made this guy of this level of fame just disappear. Wow. And they had to know the heat was going to come down. There was going to be search for him. That's no body, no crime, just nobody talked.
Damn.
And it's just whatever. It's insane.
What do they think? Do they think he's buried, or they just probably burn it up?
I think what happened was they killed him they killed him, and then they brought him to, they were all connected with legitimate businesses, so they brought him to a mortuary or whatever and had him cremated, and then his ashes.
Who was that, Fitzsimmons?
No, Hoffa.
Oh, Hoffa.
Yeah, I think they killed him in a quiet, like a house somewhere, in the movie. I don't know if that movie is true. I don't know if that guy, the Irishman, killed him.
Right.
But he was killed at a quiet residence, which somebody they were connected to, and then other guys. I think that's true though. That whoever killed him shot him and left, and then they had a second crew of guys take him and dispose of the body. That way, if it's ever prosecuted,
There's two parts of it.
Yeah, there's two parts of it. And
if you don't get both of them.
If the shooter's well, where's the body? It's well, I don't know where it is. It's because they had other guys come in and dispose of the body.
Oh, that's smart, huh?
Yeah, it's smart.
Now
they were very intelligent guy. I mean, evil,
Yeah.
obviously, but like very intelligent in terms of like how they got away with that. And granted, there wasn't the cameras and the documentation that's required today, but the way they did it is just, I mean, that guy was one of the most famous people in the country, if not the world, and they just disappeared him.
That's crazy.
I wonder if I'd be good at mafiosoing. You think you'd? Do you have any of that? And you said in the beginning you got that dog in you when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
You got that ability to work hard. Where would you have been in the mafia, you think?
There's three kinds of mafia guys. There's
right.
guys who make a lot of money. There's guys who are stone cold killers, and then there are guys who are both, which is the rarest. So
Who was the
guys who are stone cold killers call the money guys. It's like, oh, you guys are soft because you can't kill anybody, and the money guys go to the stone cold killers. It's like, you can't make any money. You're hanging on to us because we're making all the money, and the guys who are both are like the most dangerous guys.
Who would have been both?
Well, they say that Sammy the Bull was both. He was a stone cold killer, and he was involved in unions, and like he
and now he has
money.
a podcast.
And now he has a podcast.
Yes, he really
So
should.
that just shows you right there where it's all heading, you know?
Yeah.
Are we going to get to the point, though, where we run out of the ability, like we've run out of the time where anybody's done anything, and now we're all just talking about things that are being done?
That's true.
That is possible.
That is very true. I think about that. What did I think about that recently with? Because it was like college is a point of, I think a lot of college is like no one's actually doing something.
Right.
It's there's a lot of talking, and there's a lot of, but no one's living the way that they're talking, because it's a lot of work. I'm reading a book, the Atomic Habits, and I was talking to him about it, like, because I'm trying to build more habits in my life. Like I have with food, like, so I weighed like almost 200 pounds or 195 like the last February.
Okay.
And like,
Is that a lot?
It's yeah.
Okay.
For me, I don't have the frame to. It was just I'm gonna just eat fast food and whatever, eat garbage and so then I went hard and lost weight for my special Hello World, and I got down to 160.
Okay.
And then so I'm doing Red Rocks coming up in May, and the whole point was I started this journey. I did like a before picture at Red Rocks. I wasn't playing Red Rocks, but I went there and because I was in Denver doing a show somewhere else, and I took before pictures, and then I was like, oh, maybe by the time I can play here, I'll be skinny. And then I get down to 160, and now I've gained it back, and I'm going to end up going back to Red Rocks, and I'm not going to be skinny. I'm going to be back to almost not. I mean, I'm starting to go. I'll be less, but it's like my goal did not work out.
Right.
And it's very frustrating and very like you're just like kind of like depressed, like just like ugh, like why can't I just keep this?
A good pattern,
Yeah. Why I'm so addicted to this food that I spiral out. And then I like had the motivation for the special. Like you can get excited about something, but how do you keep that going? I hit the goal of the special. I'm 160. I've lost 45 pounds or something. And then now I'm back to 180. And you're like, why can't I keep that going? And because it's so hard to actually do the work, like to actually continue to do it. It's very easy. I can talk about it. I can tell you all the stuff that you got to do, and we got to drink more water, and we got to do all these things, but I can't do it. I can't physically do it. And so that book I'm trying to read, the Atomic Habits, is like that guy talks about habits, and it's like you got to just do these things. He's very good at habits.
Yeah.
Like Mike gets up and does the same kind of thing every morning.
He's institutionalized.
Institutionalized.
You got to be institutionalized. Yeah, it does that, and that is something that college does show you.
Right.
It's something that we don't have, and it's hard for us too as comics because you kind of have a freedom.
Right.
Of like, there's no one really telling us what to do. There's not a boss.
No.
We don't have a someone watching us. So that's going like, you can't do that. You could just quit this today, and then just no one's gonna
call me and tell me to come back to work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so when you don't have that, you just are kind of lost. You gotta have it on your own.
Yeah.
And
It is hard to have. It is hard to have.
But the amount of knowledge that we have now is like, that's how I learn everything now. It's like through the internet, through podcasts, and through information. Like I wish I would have known some of this stuff when I was like cutting weight or training or whatever. Like I didn't know like
But you still got to do it.
You still got to do it, but the thing is, like, I cut sugar. That helped me a lot because everybody's body is different, I guess. But mine was like, you have to cut sugar because it's hard at first. It's hard for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But once it's out of you realize it's like, oh, this is what was addicting me. That's why, like, I had the feeling he was talking about, which is it's uncontrollable. I gotta eat. I gotta gouge my. I gotta eat, like overeat and stuff. But that's what. It's like when I feel that now, I go, oh, I've had too much sugar.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll have it nights and I'll have those little baby buckets of Pringles. Have you had them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn, they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
God, I ate some the other day.
Oh, and there's just like 8 or 9 in there.
Right.
And you almost feel like it's a little family or whatever. They're all sleeping in there when you open it.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like a big giant, like, hey. Oh, yeah, stay asleep. I'm going to eat you.
They're they're the best. I had some the other I just got back from Europe. And they had Pringles there. My daughter always eats Pringles, but you think, oh, I'll just eat 4, and then I'll eat a couple more.
Oh, they're fucking.
And then I
good.
start eating them 2 at a time, and then you're just
that's crazy. You eat Pringles 2 at a time.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck, dude, it's like a different. You're doing. It's almost,
well, in my head, I'm trying to. You're lying to yourself to be like, well, it's like 1. It's because it's 1.
Same shape.
All this, yeah, and then you just end up eating the whole thing.
Did you see? If I have a lot of chocolate, it makes my feet itch to the point where I'll scratch right through the skin on the top of my feet.
Wow.
So I know I probably shouldn't be having it.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing? Speaking of like 2 is 1, there was this. What was this thing I saw about mice? See if you can Google this up, brother. About they took mice, like a circulatory system, right, of an older mice. It was about. They're trying to keep people alive longer, right? This guy just invested. Google like investor in life expansion. It's like 180 million. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy who he wants to reverse his aging or something.
Yeah. Let's go back to the top. Let me see what the heading is. Man has invested $180 million to make humans live for longer.
That doesn't feel like enough money.
Right.
I don't like. I didn't like. You're like, well, do you really want it? You're like, that's all it costs. Not that's a lot of money, but everything's billions now and like all these crazy numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, as the rich world, I feel like this guy he's like, I'll give you $1,000, see if you can make me live. You're like, all right. I mean, I'll try.
Yeah, dude. Twitter.
How many mice can you even buy for 180 million? Like, I mean, I imagine you need a lot of mice.
Well, and Twitter costs how many billion?
44 billion.
Yeah, this dude for
$180 million. He's going to make us live forever. I don't think you could get the mice that you need and the scientist. Like you're going to be like he's going to be sitting in the budget room, and they're like, "Look, we can either. What do you want to do? You want to spend more money on the mice, or do you want to buy a couple more scientists?"
Yeah.
And it's like you got to make a decision.
Yeah, I think you got to go scientist at that point because a lot of your mice are going to be running the same game, dude.
I guess you're hoping mice. They have more mice.
Well, I think that, this guy, some freaking little Yiddish Frankenstein, this dude, Sam Altman.
Was this the guy that went to jail? No.
Yeah, I thought that's Sam Altman, Bankman.
No, that's Sam Friedman.
Sam Friedman, yeah.
Yeah. So a different Jewish kid, but still young entrepreneur. Go back up to the beginning. What does it say, this guy? Altman is hoping to achieve the latter goal with the... Altman has described emptying his bank account to fund 2 particular goals: limitless energy through an investment, the fusion power startup Helion Energy, and extending the lifespan.
So he has $180 million.
Right. God.
Yeah.
I would just do your best to live more in the time that you have than try to get 10 more years.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll start at 10 more years and then 20 and then, build that way.
If he extends that and you're the freaking life god and you're just granting years to people, like you're out on the street and like people run up and like, I got to finish an essay and there's like 2 more months.
2 more,
He's just granting people something,
Yeah.
But go back to what it said about mice. What was the thing about mice? This is the part that I was trying to get to. Extended lifespan. Altman's interest in an extended lifespan came from following the discovery of young blood research, which saw old and young mice being sewn together so they shared a blood system. The old mice seemed to be partly rejuvenated as a result of the experiment, and after hearing of the apparent success, Altman tasked his staff at the time with looking into the progress being made by anti-aging scientists. So that's crazy. They basically sewed an old person and a old mouse and a young mouse together. And then the old...
Sounds like a comedy movie.
The old one. Yeah, it does, huh?
Now they have to figure it out.
Yeah.
They
They go audition, and he goes, so I'll be the young mice. He goes, no, you're the old mice. That's how you find out you're old in Hollywood.
Oh.
No, you're the old mice.
Come
he
on.
Goes, oh.
I got a few good
Like,
years
years
left. And he takes out his mouth
Yeah.
cheese to eat some cheese. He puts in his...
But is that what Magic Johnson has been? He's been getting blood transfusions all these years.
Yeah.
And he's very healthy. So it's like maybe that's what it is.
You're supposed to give blood more. Did you ever know that? Yeah. Someone told me it was like with testosterone. Like if you get testosterone, you're supposed to you got to give blood a lot. But I think you're supposed to give blood a good bit
Because it helps you get more blood inside of you?
Or yeah, it's like maybe I don't know anything other than someone said that to me.
Are we supposed to donate blood? Oh, well, here we go. This other thing, this guy
Young
said
blood.
plasma therapy.
So if you get young blood and put it in you, maybe that's
Young blood sounds like something brothers say to each other.
Yeah.
What's up, young blood?
I think they do say that to each other.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the gangs, is the gangs the new mafia?
the gangs.
Yes.
The gangs would be.
The gangs
Are they?
The gangs are dangerous, man.
But the gangs are just dangerous. The gangs are like, dude, I think if the Bloods or Crips came out with merch, bro, they would crush. Like,
Yeah,
how do
they
you
would
not have
crush.
fucking merch?
yeah.
Yeah. And
They
it's
would
basic
crush
merch.
it. They
It's
would
just got to
crush.
be blue and red,
Yeah.
like basic merch. It's not even.
Yeah, you don't need like refrigerator magnets or nothing.
Look
like
at the handkerchiefs.
Right.
Those,
Yes.
I mean, you're going.
Yeah.
You guys should be patenting that. You know.
Yeah.
If you can sell drugs, you can sell merch.
Easy, dude. Somebody
Yeah.
rolls up on you with the fucking little, you know, a
they-
70 sack of sweatshirts.
But then they get in the merch game, and then that's not fun.
Yeah.
That's true. Then they're all on the block with these big boxes.
yeah.
That's what. Yeah. When kids sell you M&Ms or something like that, they just also have like a hat. You got to take some peanut M&Ms and maybe 2 of those hats. Yeah, I appreciate it.
The cops are like, hey, you got anything on you? The guy has a fucking huge box of
He
70
goes,
hats.
This is unlicensed.
We
Well,
caught
that
him.
in New York, you know, when you buy purses or like on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street. So supposedly you're supposed to buy from the guys that have them wrapped in a blanket because those are the ones that they get in trouble for selling. So like the guys that are on the sidewalk with with like a table or something.
Yeah.
That are going to be able to sit there all day, well, they have permission to be there. You need the guys that have them all wrapped in a blanket that if a cop comes, they got to go, all right, see ya, and then they got to run off.
Right.
So that's what I always heard. You want to buy from them.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're
The
trying
guy
to buy
that's
a
really
fake
trying to
person.
hide something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need someone that can go to jail. He's got some skin in the game.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, what were we talking about? Just
The gangs.
young-
The gangs are
the
the
gang-
gangs
yeah.
are dangerous, man.
But
The
instead,
gangs
they
are
just
really
pretend like they
money.
own real estate. They don't own fucking shit, right? They're kind of doing shitty business.
Mm-hmm.
The Bloods are like we own this block, and it's like next thing you know,
yeah.
a bulldozer
Yeah.
shows up and they're fucking gone. They're
Yeah.
like, we don't own shit.
They need to get in the. Well, they probably would need organization like the mafia. The mafia.
Well, yeah, it's like they have
legitimate.
legitimate. Like the thing about the mafia is one, they're ingrained in normal, regular society, so they have legitimate businesses. They were involved in politics, so they had all that. They would take the illegal money and like put it into legal places and illegal places. They would just like, but it doesn't seem like the gangs do that. You know what I mean? It seems like they need like the white collar end of it to be like funneling the money and making,
Yeah, the gangs,
so they can have wealth. You know?
they need the partner. They almost need that other mouse to get sewn next to.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They
do.
need a healthier mouse in
Right.
some ways. Like I feel like if the Bloods or the Crips and the Italians and the mafia linked
Yeah.
up,
They are at some level. I think some of the families have like the gangs. They do work together. Like
do Italians and
drug
black
trade.
people work well together? Do you feel like has there ever been like Italian versus black people beef? I know like Chinese and black people don't get along great,
Yeah,
and somebody said like aliens and black people have beef with aliens or something. But
Even the aliens are like, they can't even come down here and be like good dude. Like they're.
I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I just heard that, bro.
That means that we're gonna watch alien movies with black people, like and being like they don't even. You're like, come on, man.
Black versus aliens. I
Yeah.
could see that shit in a heartbeat,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Oh, that would be very fun.
But there's a lot of like
That's like snakes on a plane.
yeah,
The same kind of vibe, you know.
yeah, it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like street air beef, I guess, between those parties. But Yeah, I just wonder, was there ever like...
I think the whole common thing is because a lot of with black gangs and with also there's a thing in New York now with Albanians who come into Italian controlled family territory and they start gambling operations, and they're, you know, Albania is like a war-torn, you know, very tough place to come from. So the Italians are like, you better not do that, and the Albanians like, or what?
Right.
You know, and then just kind of like, hey, bring it. You know, we'll I'll fight you. And, you know, the Italians, like the street Italians are like on the downswing now because we're just, you know, third, fourth generation.
Yeah.
And the Albanians are like first generation just coming from a war-torn area. So they're just like, don't, whatever.
Still make loud noises on your
Talking
hands.
That's who he is.
That's who he
Talking
is.
with my hands.
He's on the fucking mat. He's a fucking...
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's a hitman.
It's the fact that you let them drop like anchors. You lift them and then you just go and you just drop them. Like there's no control.
Well, I don't know how
down.
you accentuate making a point.
Is that you? The Italians have. You're Italian. You have heavy hands.
Heavy
Imagine when you're his parent and he wakes up in the morning. You
Yeah.
fucking
You
know
just
it's
know
like
it.
a 60-year-old man going down the hall.
Yeah, you just hear the steps when you would walk around upstairs with your family because you have the strength to lift it, but then you just let everything fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, how's Mikey doing? They're like,
Yeah,
he's 7 months.
Yeah, he's up. Yeah. There's no question.
No.
Did you see? Yeah, now like a lot of the mafiosos, it's even TikTok. Did you see this kid, Big Joe Signoro? Can you look him up on TikTok?
Joe.
You know what I'm talking about? See if you can find him. It's like, I almost starting like, even with like episodes of Dateline, there's no more murder because there's nobody.
Yeah. But I think the Italians, like, they're at a point where it's like there's all these guys doing podcasts. Everybody's a cooperator. There's cameras. There's bugs everywhere. The Rico statues put them in jail for like 30 years. So I think the guys on the street now, like, and I don't know, I just watch all of this stuff, but it's like I think they just want to quietly make money.
Yeah.
They just want to quietly make money and live in Staten Island or Long Island or some parts of Brooklyn. And they just want to quietly make money and just live their lives. They don't want any kind of like, they don't want like a guy like Gotti coming in who's flashy or anything like that. They just want to, and they don't want to like a war with any, they don't want a war within themselves. They don't want a war with other groups. They just want to quietly make money.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that? Oh, was it the old guy that was super? Who was the best mob guy?
There's
Babe
competition
Ruth or something,
between the Babe Ruth.
I bet he knew Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Carlo Gambino, it's like how many years can you be successful and on top? And the big thing is, how did you die? If you died in your bed, that's a win, and not in prison or getting shot in the face. So Carlo Gambino, they say, was he was the boss of the family for like 30 years and then died in his bed in like 1976. And there's a guy from Chicago, I forget his name. He ruled Chicago for like from the Capone days to like the early 90s, and he died in his bed. And that guy might be the most successful. He might be the most successful
Because no one even really knew him.
No, they knew him on the street, but they tried to drag him in. And if you could, I don't know what the guy's name. He's from Chicago. His nickname was the Big Tuna.
The Big Tuna from Chicago. Let's look him up, huh?
Yeah, and they brought him in for like a Senate Judiciary. They subpoenaed him, and they brought him in. Yeah, Tony Accardo.
There he is.
Tony Accardo. So they bring him in, and he talks, and then they keep trying to bring him in, but they can't get anything on him. So his last hearing, it's actually very funny. I don't know if you could bring it up, but the last hearing, it's like he's like in his late 80s, and they bring him in, and they're just asking him questions, and he's so old that he can't hear half the questions. I watch it, I'm laughing.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. But it just shows you that he beat the system. He spent like 2 days in prison his entire life, and it's a fascinating thing to watch that the guy is.
There you go, right there.
Do you recall when that was taken? No, sir. Do you recall what you were doing at that time?
No, sir.
Did you ever have a business meeting with Mr. Cerrone?
No, sir.
Good answers.
And you're completely unaware of what he does for a living?
No, sir. Outside of golf.
Outside of golf.
So they think this guy did stuff like.
I mean, that guy was from all like informants and stuff, and like
The big tuna, huh?
FBI information. That guy was the head, like on the top. Like he probably retired and was overseeing it. He had what the Chicago bosses would do, and in some of the New York guys, they would have street bosses. So the real power would, because too much heat, he would step back and then have a street boss take over. That was like Sam Giancana and Joey Aiuppa. Some of these other guys, they ended up like Sam Giancana ended up getting murdered in his home, but. A lot of these guys, Aiuppa and Cerrone, who they were talking about, ended up doing life sentences and never flipped. So they ended up doing life sentences, so they would put a street boss in place to run things from day-to-day operations, but like on big policy questions, like that guy would be consulted.
So that guy was able to take his ego out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what saved
I mean,
him.
after a while, you have enough money to be like, what am I, I have enough money. I don't need the heat. I don't need the legal headaches. So I'll just step back and let somebody else run and just
Did that guy
consult.
probably have people killed and all that?
I'm sure. And Sam Giancana, like the only way Sam Giancana, who was the boss of the family, like for a while in the 60s and the 70s, for him to get killed had to be okayed by him. It had to be okayed by him. There's nobody higher.
Right.
So it's pretty fascinating, the structure. Also, another thing that fascinated me is guys being walked into a room and they're not sure if they're going to die or
it'd be
not.
the worst,
and
like your wedding.
And they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And
this
they
gonna
go
work out?
anyway.
Oh yeah, they have to because you're so scared, and the in-laws paid for it.
Yeah.
That's the fuck.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. The wife's dad paid. That's why they pay for it.
Yeah.
There's no old thing with trading a goat or whatever. It's because it's another linchpin for you to feel responsible to be there.
Yeah.
God, that breaks my heart.
It's really great.
That's like when someone orders the appetizer and you gotta eat it. You go to a big Italian family and you gotta eat. She keeps bringing food out.
Yeah.
You have to eat it to be polite, and that's what marriage is. You're just trying to be polite.
Then they
You
wheel
gotta
out
go
their
for
daughter
it.
who's had a few too many apps as well, and you're fucking like, all right, I've already eaten everything else.
Yeah.
I'll have a little.
There you go. Yeah. All right, I'll take her in. I'll marry her. And she's the goat.
Yeah.
That's the old
She's
saying.
the
She's
goat.
the goat.
That'd be a good movie. She's the goat.
She's the goat.
She's the goat.
And it's like a girl that kind of sounds like a goat.
You
a
think
little.
goat? The word, the label goat is greatest of all time is pretty annoying now. I think it's being so overused that it's taking everything from what it was.
Right. I mean, Tom Brady was the GOAT, and then he just kept goating so much that he
We've
exhausted
used
it.
Right. Yeah, we've used it. Now everybody's calling everybody goat something. And then people that are goats are, they say they're the goat too.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
And then you're like, all
LeBron
right.
calls himself the GOAT.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Hey, you want to let other people say it.
You do. That's old Mafia. That's what the guy we just watched would do. He never said he called himself the GOAT.
No.
He lets you.
Let
Mike Vecchione. Could you be in the Mafia?
Absolutely not.
I know, but it's how, like, blood-wise.
Blood-wise, I could, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You think you would be farther along in your career if you would have?
You probably would.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
That would have. That's the most. That's the most
Yeah,
true.
dude. If you're in a mafia,
Yeah.
if you
I'd like to be like a Sinatra. Like Sinatra wasn't in it, but he was adjacent to it.
He sang to him.
And he sang to them. They loved him. And like, if he needed a little bit of help, they would like muscle or whatever. That would have.
Was he full Italian?
Sinatra was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hoboken.
I wonder if I wonder if I could have mafia'd or not, if I could have handled it. I think I would have fallen asleep on a little mission, like the first or third mission. They give you a couple bucks to go, run over to Eddie's and get a fucking couple cuts of salami or, salam or whatever. And then I'd have fucked it up, dude. I'd have slept in
Well, it's
the
good to
car.
mess that kind of stuff up. It's good to mess early because then they won't count on you. It's when you mess up the stuff, like there's just stuff that's like a death sentence where it's like, I didn't, if you caught dealing any kind of drugs, supposedly, it's like, that's death.
Yeah.
If you screw up, if they tell you to go, like, you're ordered to kill him and you don't kill him, then they kill you and him.
Oh, that's the worst, bro. You get back in the car and you haven't killed the guy.
Yeah.
And now you got to go back and pretend you're a plumber again or
Well,
something.
yeah, you almost got to go tell the guy, look, I was supposed to kill you, and I didn't because I just don't have the heart to do it. And then you got to hope that guy doesn't kill you, but you go like, I'm telling you this, they're going to kill us both.
Right.
So then could you go into hiding?
That's a good move. Tell the guy, look, right now it's going to suck, but you're going to have to leave town.
That's what I think you would be in the mafia. You would have got to the level of you to just end up having to talk to the guy and being like, yo, can we get out?
I go back up.
Yeah. And what do you got to do? Can you get out ever?
I mean, these guys have. I mean, Michael Francis was the one guy who like never cooperated and just is out. There's a couple guys like that who never but you're not supposed to be able to get out. You take this blood oath where it's like, yeah, you're never getting out. But those guys managed to get out, and these guys
Early blood with like 2 and me.
Yeah.
Early blood.
Yeah, it's like fucking.
Yeah.
You
They
and
do a
another dude.
23andMe on you now. Now they do a 23andMe on you.
Oh, it's gone up bad
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're supposed to take a blood oath that you never. But there's guys like the guys who cooperate now are not in witness protection anymore. They're just coming back to their old They're living in the neighborhoods where they were
Wow.
when they were active, and they're doing podcasts, which is kind of unbelievable that nothing happens to them.
Yeah,
You
I think
know?
it shows you how far it's gone. You know, how far
Yeah.
it's kind of dissipated in the sense
Right.
that they want to do street crime.
Well, it's
Right.
probably history now, and you want to be able to like
Document it.
Yeah, you want to be able to document it and be like, we're not doing those things anymore, so it's probably okay for him to talk. Because then, even if they got caught, you're like, a guy's
but
on a podcast.
they put guys away for 30 years for
Oh.
life. They put all these guys in prison, and if you're in a mob and there's a brotherhood, and you put my brothers in prison for 30 years, it's like, I don't know. I guess I could just go, well, that's the life now, and I'm not gonna risk an attempted murder on a federal witness because I'm going to put myself in jeopardy then. So
Yeah, but
I'm
imagine
gonna
you're
let it
sitting in
go.
prison listening to a guy who's a podcast who did the same things that you did,
Yeah.
and he's not getting in any trouble or
Right.
nothing.
He's making money.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now you have
And he's
like
doing
guys,
ads. He's
doing-
Yeah, he goes, all right, 23andMe, everybody, check it out. Like, and you're just in prison stewing.
Yeah. Yeah. Larry's vodka sauce. And now you got God. This is like the new kind of like mafia. It's on Twitter. Go to the one of the good. There you go. This guy. Let's turn him up and start it over. Big Joe Cigaro.
Oh, Slick Tone, Big Joe, what's the quote of the day? Life gives you lemons, make orange juice.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
He tells you quotes. Hit him.
Tone, Big Joe.
That's the same one.
Hey Slick, Big Joe, what's the quote of the day?
There's no such thing as good and bad money. It's just money.
That's it.
Walks away.
I think he has somewhere to go a lot of times or something, or he has like incontinence.
Hey Big Joe, Slick Tone, what's the quote of the day?
Hey, how's Big Joe doing?
I'm doing great, Polly. Thank you for asking.
What happened at the beginning of that video?
I think they're still. Yeah,
They
it just shows you
dropped
where
it?
the mafia is.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're in
they're
school.
They're in
in
school.
high school.
They're in
Yeah.
school.
They're in
They're
elementary
high school.
schools.
Yeah. They're
If you
just
don't want to
young,
know,
man.
Big Joe
Yeah.
Cigaro,
Yo,
bro.
Big Joe, what's the quote of the day?
Say you don't give a shit anymore. See you, wife.
Dang, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to respect Big Joe Cigaro, man. I don't know where I don't know if he's a child or not, but that's where they at.
He
you
looks
know?
like that looked like high school.
It could be.
Yeah.
Like, is he in, they
Yeah,
gotta go
middle
young.
school maybe. I don't know.
Would mafia kids go to school? They would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where do they go? They can't go to regular class. You can't have fucking, Benny the Shrimp sitting there and fucking.
Is it looked down on if you go to
social
community
studies.
college? If your kid is in community college, is that not? If you're Al Capone and you go, how's your kids doing? You go, he's in community college. You go, oh, is that not good?
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah,
better
you
to
can-
not go.
To not go, usually you go to. I mean, they used to go to the military. That was a thing. They go to the military and then come out and then be able to like kill and stuff.
Oh, because the
They're
military
trained,
train
yeah.
them to
Trained,
kill them.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that we should have a separate gay and straight military ever? Like we should have an all gay military?
That would be colorful.
I think it'd be cool almost,
Yeah.
but I don't. I guess in the military, the people don't care. I don't ever hear any of my military friends saying there's any issues if people are gay or straight in the military.
No, I don't think
that matters.
No.
I've heard outsiders kind of
Yeah.
have thoughts on it.
Yeah,
but I've never
yeah.
heard anybody inside of it have thoughts on
Yeah,
it.
but to have a whole gay military,
That'd be sick, huh?
yeah, it'd be flag heavy.
It would be flag heavy.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of parades.
Yeah, the flag team would be like, it's like everybody
Yeah.
can't be on the flag
Yeah.
team. Like we have to have some.
They have to go. All right, I did Mike Vecchione. I did a.
It's hard to.
Yeah,
it's hard to
Ricky,
not
we're
do
gonna-
it.
you- somebody
get-
has to have a grenade
someone-
that's
yeah.
carrying it out here like this.
Yeah, he goes, ooh, like doesn't want to deal with it. That would be,
I think
guys.
it-
Not everybody can be on the flag.
Can I use a word for the gay military? Amazing. I think it would be amazing.
I think
Yeah.
you can use that. I would love to see. I think we're going to get to a point soon on television where we're going to have a lot more gay prize fighting. You know, when I was growing up, they had this group, and and we'll bleep this word out, but they had this group that would come to one of the bars in Baton Rouge. It was called Fist Fights was the group. And they would have it was gay men put it on, and you pay $5 to go watch, and you could drink, and it was gay men fighting each other.
Would they have the like dispute about what they were fighting? That's a good thing about a gay fight. It's like
that's
what
a good point.
the dispute is before they fight. Like we're fighting over.
Right, like this is about a men's blouse or whatever.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thinking, that is very funny. Right before they start the fight, they got to tell you
just
what
know
it is.
it's a brief statement about what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for an oyster dressing recipe.
This is for he still hasn't come out to his parents.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, I bet that's a big.
Well, and gay
that
fighting.
is true,
that
huh?
is- yeah,
Because
it's
then
like-
you have to go over there and pretend you're fucking just a
His
friend
buddy.
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, in gay fighting, I think it's not coming out of the closet; it's coming out of the corner.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ronnie won't come out of the corner, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that's got to be a huge thing, huh?
Yeah.
If you're a gay man and you got a husband or like a little pretend, whatever the legalities are where you live, like a partial husband, and you have to pretend he's your buddy all the time.
Yeah.
Why do you always bring your best friend to Christmas? Yeah. And you go, because he's my best friend.
Yeah. And why do you always get him a shaving razor for Christmas?
Yeah. 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 Every year.
Yeah, but what do you think is more jolting to a family? It's like I'm gay, or it's like I'm vegan and I can't eat any of this.
Oh.
I think the
That's a stomach
gayer
gaze,
thing
they
is
call
more.
them.
Yeah.
What's that?
Stomach gaze.
Was there gay mafia people? I'd imagine that's a tough.
I don't know.
family to
That
come
was the
out
thing.
to.
Not to spoil The Sopranos for you, but there was one thing that was based on in New Jersey. There was a gay, I think he was a high-ranking member, and they killed him. Damn. They killed him for being gay.
Yeah.
Oh. That's got to be the worst, man. If somebody killed you for being something that you couldn't control being, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you just can't go get in that mafia. Yeah,
It's you can control that. You control not being in the mafia.
You gotta.
Yeah.
That's true, huh? Italian mob open to gay members as long as they don't parade it in public.
Who do they have a publicist? Like, who do they go to? The Italian mob that they got a spokesperson.
Even the Italian mob has started flying the rainbow flag. A star prosecutor in Italy has revealed the mafia is now open to gay men and even has a drag queen in their midst. I could see that, but that's kind of like a new undercover,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mafia have evolved along with society. Nicola Gratteri, an anti-mafia investigator in Calabria, told the Times of London, gays can be accepted now, even as foot soldiers, so long as they don't parade it in public.
I mean, it seems crazy that you can put this stuff in the newspaper to be like, so the foot soldiers are illegal. They're doing illegal crimes.
Yeah, they're illegal. It's illegal crimes. Yeah.
The inspector claims to have intercepted passionate letters between a crime boss and a young lieutenant. Previously, mobsters risked being murdered if they were even suspected of being gay.
Right.
God, that's got to be crazy. Because what if you're like young and you're doing good in the mafia, right? You're starting out, you're the little guy, huh?
Yeah.
And you like some colored ties.
Right.
Like
But you don't even know you're gay yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you start to realize it.
But they're saying even if they think you are.
Right.
So what if you're straight, but you love flower ties?
Right.
Like, and you start you have a little flash.
Yeah.
And you're, because sometimes you see there could be a guy that you're like, oh, I think that guy's gay, and then you're,
right, like you're a big,
but it's like he's just like a little it's like flamboyant. Like, but a guy could just have that little bit about him,
like Christian Leitner almost a little.
Oh, yeah, where you could see
like he's a little too handsome for whatever he does.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, no, I'm not at all. But it's like,
And he puts a napkin on his lap like this before he eats, like even out of a takeout.
Yeah. They would say that at the meeting when they were going to kill you. They were like, he puts a napkin on his lap. What more proof do you need?
Yeah.
they go,
What, do you think he's straight? With a napkin on his lap?
when they go and take him in the room to kill him, do you even know what's happening, or it's just boom?
No, but like I think it's fascinating. These guys are walk to their meetings and they're like, this might be it for me.
Yeah.
And they go anyway. They go, like, some guys knew they were, like the Donnie Brasco, that movie, like the real story of that. The one guy who he was very close to, after it came out that he was a federal agent, and they let a federal agent into the family. One of the guys responsible was called to a meeting and knew he was getting it. That's why in the movie he leaves his money and his jewelry in a drawer and leaves it half open because he knows he's not coming back.
Wow.
Why is it half? Just so someone knows to find it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pride.
Because they wouldn't have been able to open the drawer. They would have just moved it, and he goes, "Now leave it open so people see it." Yeah. I mean, I guess there is pride where, you'd almost go, you could say the fact that he went to this knowing he was going to die, you'd almost could be like, then he should live because there's no one more loyal than this guy.
That's what
he's
I would
coming.
say.
You go, we're about to get rid of our biggest asset that truly just got taken. We all got taken because this guy was a federal agent, but he's willing to walk to his own death.
Yes.
So why would you get rid of that guy?
That's a good point. At that point, that guy has a lot of freaking pride and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's it for? We don't know.
Yeah.
That's the issue. You got to sort that out at that point.
Yeah, because he could fight him off. I mean, he could do. Why would anybody not
fight him? But I think there's a rule like you're not supposed to those meetings. Like when you're called to a meeting like that, you're not supposed to come with any. You're not supposed to come armed at all.
Yeah, but you just. Yeah, I mean, but they're.
God,
you're
dude,
not.
there's a lot of freaking weird.
You go, why
levels
didn't you
of
bring a
respect.
gun? He goes, because they don't. They said you can't. You go, do they frisk you? You go, they don't. They don't frisk you. You're like, yeah, so just carry the gun. And he goes, no, but you don't understand. It's against the rules to carry the gun. And you're like, all right. Yeah, that's tough to walk in that. And how many times you got to take him to a normal meeting for him to not realize that the bad meeting is coming? The meeting where they're so you have to be like, hey, we want to kill this guy. So let's invite him to 2-3 meetings to let him know like it's normal.
Right.
And then the fourth one where, then he comes in with like Popeyes and he's got like, he's like, what's up? Can't wait to have this video. And he's like, God, I never saw this coming.
Look at you can
Yeah. He's singing the song. Yeah.
That's great.
He's singing the song.
He's already had his fingers are greasy. He snuck in and out a
He
couple
goes,
fucking.
he feels comfortable going. He's eating the fries before they get there. This guy has no respect for any of it.
Dude, anybody who doesn't eat the fries before they get there, I don't know if I fucking respect that mule.
Yeah.
That's a good last meal. Popeyes.
Is it?
Popeyes chicken, I think.
Yeah, you got to go bad on your last meal. You
Yeah.
got to just be like bloating me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would do a
Steak is played out.
steak is played out too. I'm probably, for me, I might be going fast food. I'm a fast food guy.
I think
So-
2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, maybe.
Oh yeah, I
Maybe
think I'm
some
going.
Raising Cane's, maybe.
I think I'm going what I ate last night. I eat my last meal pretty regularly.
Sonic?
Yeah, just
yeah. Says the guy who just showed up back at his starting weight.
At starting weight.
Yeah.
I went before, after, back to before, and yeah.
But that's a good question. Like an electric chair. You're getting the electric chair the next day. They do give you a last meal. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good question, Mike.
I'll go.
That's how like we don't answer it though.
I go with some ice cream, and I don't know. I
go a
there's-
lot of ice cream.
Yeah, I don't like that Dutch chocolate. I like regular fucking chocolate.
Hershey's.
The Dutch shit is like.
Yeah,
I don't know the Dutch. I don't know how they got this.
Yeah.
How they won the thing or whatever. But
I was just there. I did shows in Europe.
Did you
and that
really?
was it. Yeah, and we had went to Belgium and Brussels and did some of the chocolate. And yeah, it was, sometimes it's like our taste or just, we need it to be processed a little. Like you're like, we have the taste. I have the taste of just like poor South. Like you're like,
No.
I can't handle the real stuff. You need it to be a little, like I
love
need
that in New York where
the
it's
government to be involved a little bit into my chocolate.
Because in New York they go, that's a big thing now. It's like, is it processed? Is that processed what you're eating? It's like, well, we live in Manhattan, so there's no farms here.
Yeah,
gotta be
it's like,
processed.
let's be honest. I'm guessing that this casserole's been cut with baby powder. Okay?
Yeah.
Be realistic too. We're fucking eating in Alphabet City over here.
Yeah.
all right? So let's fucking not lie to each other.
Did you like living in New York?
Yeah, I did like it. I would go back. I think about sometimes trying to, possibly doing something else. Rogan's always asking me to move down to Austin, but sometimes I feel like there's so many people there already.
This is it, dude. Here, I'm a big Nashville fan,
Yeah.
and
Vanderbilt's doing a little better.
Vanderbilt's doing better. We got a big game this week. Vanderbilt's very exciting. But I'm a big. We have a good comedy scene here. I want Nashville a lot of comics to move here, and I know a lot, but Rogan's doing great, and like he's got his new club, and Austin does have a great scene. But I think we have a great scene. I'll tell you, I talked about young comics about whether you have to move to New York now. I don't think you. When I started, it was we needed to be in New York. I don't think you have to go to New York like you did when we started. I think you can easily move to Nashville. I like young comics. I would like you to move to Nashville. I want to build this. I hope this scene builds up, but you can be here. Austin's got a great scene. Like you do not have to go to. I think New York like you did. I really don't think you do, because you're going up every night here.
Can you get up every night here though? I'm not.
Yeah.
I think if you.
They get up. Yeah, they can get up every night here. And there's a lot of great comics here.
I agree.
And
there's a lot of good.
Comedians. We have comics getting stuff out of here. They had the girl that she's writing for SNL, I believe, was out of here. Laura Peak, I believe, she opens for Louis. Like
she opens for me.
She opens for you. Yeah, she's out. She's from here. She moved to New York though. But you could. I'm not saying you don't ever move or nothing ever changes. But I don't think when you start, I don't think you have to. I think you can get seen in other cities now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, things about Nashville that are great are it's a small city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels, I think it's definitely a good starter city as well if you're considering moving to somewhere else bigger.
Yeah.
But you don't want to make a full jump to somewhere, especially from a smaller place.
Yes.
This is a great place. And it's growing so fast. I mean, in 5 years, it could be a huge city.
It could be a huge city.
I mean, it's growing. I mean, things that were just built are being torn down to build bigger things. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of friendly people here. Like I know my neighbors here. I know people that live on my street. It's like you have a lot of local support. Those are some things that are great about it.
Yeah, we have the Nashville Comedy Festival is a giant festival.
Yeah,
and
you're in it. Carlos.
Yeah.
Who else? Carlos Miller, I think, is in it. David Spade. Are you in it,
Carlos Miller? Who?
I don't know. Last year, that's when we shot the special.
We shot the
National Comedy Festival.
Yeah. We did the special last year. But yeah, Spade. But it's a lot of big names and so comedy's becoming a big thing.
Yeah. I would like it to become more. I think a new club will pop up at some point because of just the size of the population growth.
Yeah. But there's so many other rooms too. But the good thing is Zany's does a very good thing they do the new material night, which has become, people are, it's sold out. And that's just a new material night. And there's nights where you're going to be there. I go there. It's tonight. You're going tonight.
Right, yeah. Steve Byrne, Joe Gatto.
Steve Byrne, yeah. Steve. So a lot of when you moved here, that was a big deal. It was a big deal for this scene to just people recognize that there's a scene here. And when Steve moved here, and then Josh Wolf was here. I think he left, but it was they're coming here. People are coming here. The club. Zany's is great. And,
Zany's is great.
But then they have the other rooms. I think there's Third Coast. There's I'm blanking on all the names.
I need to go experience some of the other local rooms too.
Oh,
I think that's one way where I'm personally missing out and not going and doing that as much.
Yeah,
but also
great.
You get to a level where you've done it so much, like you were saying earlier about Mike, is just having done a lot of that road work. It really was kind of a different time. Huh? I mean, I remember 40 weeks a year. I'd be doing, the 3 or 4 day weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For 7-8 years.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of the route of for becoming a great comic now is a little bit of that route. Like you can book yourself, or you can do. It's hard because you always think I wouldn't want to start now. With what comics have to go through. Right. But I already started, so it's hard for me to mentally open my mind to go start over. So the comics coming up now, they're having to really create their own kind of ways. And but it's like being out on the road. I mean, look at a Shane Gillis. Shane is someone that when I first saw Shane, it was I remember when I first saw him, I was like, man, this dude is it's something else. This guy is, you just don't see that.
Oh yeah, he's like the best fart.
Yeah. So,
but I mean that in the best way. He's the fucking most. He's
But he's on the road. And
does that make any sense saying that about him?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the most pungent.
No, he's just like it's like the best pitch. His whole
Yeah.
it's like
It's everything.
Yeah.
And he told me about the best fart. Maybe he said he was in private school and they would have class in church, and sometimes somebody would fart in the pews in an empty church, and he still will stop and laugh about the sound of it. And I
that
can
solid.
yeah, it's like, hey God, what about this? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes me laugh hearing about it. So I can only imagine being firsthand on a fart like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, just straight off the wood, fucking, you know.
Should do it to Ryman. The Ryman has the
Yeah.
perfect seating for something like that.
They should have a contest over there.
I mean, they could hold it. It'd probably diminish.
Diminish.
It's
It's a big one.
Might diminish the legacy of the Ryman, but there's a big fart at church.
Oh,
Wow.
I mean,
That
that's
was-
crazy.
That almost sounded fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's insane. What does
That
that mean?
sounds
I wonder
like
what God thinks when that happens.
I think that sounds like a mortal sin to me.
Yeah.
A big one.
It sounded like if it was done on purpose, if it was a little old lady that couldn't help it,
Yeah.
but that sounds like it was done on purpose.
It sounds like the devil pressing that button at like
Yeah.
the club that's like, burr, burr,
Yeah.
burr.
Yeah. Yeah, those kids are videoing, like those kids went into that church and
They playing that.
they found an old church and they
Right.
found a place to go do it.
And they sat
There's
right,
a lot of that. That's what I'm saying is like that kind of stuff. Now.
right. And this guy could
That
probably sell,
setting up.
this guy could
Right.
sell 200 tickets somewhere.
Yeah. There's
To atheists.
Right.
Yeah,
but,
to not.
But he rolls out there and he brings a small bench out there and he goes out there
Yeah.
and he gasses up on the bench.
And we were all in
that's
the
his-
clubs like suckers for years, and we could have just been doing church farts.
Yeah,
But the longevity of it, that's the thing.
longevity, dude.
You can get people to come and see you one time.
Yeah.
But if you don't give them something,
they're not going to come back. That's what like Mike's special putting that out, and you're going to be able to go watch this special, and it's great, and then you're going to watch them, and it's going to new hour, and then it's going to be an amazing show, and you're seeing an act. That's the whole thing that I want to build with this is, or not. It's not saying I have anything, but it's just presenting comics and stuff to be like we're presenting a full act. So when you go watch this and you buy a ticket to a show, then you go see it live, you're seeing an act. You're seeing a proper show versus like you can have videos where these people can sell those tickets,
Right.
and then you're like, they can't go do
Right.
a full show. It's hard to learn how to do a full show. That's like sometimes, like America's Got Talent, like when they would do stuff like that, then they give them they give them a year at Vegas. You're like, some of these people are like, been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, they
5
can't go
minutes.
do they
They
can't
have
go
10
do an
minutes.
hour, like a full
some
on
guy's
show.
he's like gargling like Jesse's girl or something.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, that dude can't do an hour.
They can't
Right.
do there's no show.
Yeah.
But then you have like the Terry Fader or whatever that guy's name. Like that guy won that. But like that guy was doing the thing
Yeah.
for 20, 30 years.
Was he?
Like, yeah, he
Oh,
was doing
wow.
it for a long time. So then he goes and ends up signing a giant deal with, I think he died actually, but he was, I do think he's dead. I don't, maybe he's not dead.
Dude, everybody's dead.
Everybody's
man.
dead.
9 out of 10.
Everybody's
people you-
dead, but then also no one's dying. You ever think that there are our most famous people that have been famous our whole life?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks. These people are just still making the same like.
I think it's Scientology is what you're talking about.
That's true.
That's a good point.
I think
huh?
I would get sucked into something. If I ever got near that world, they probably you're gonna just be like,
You would
what?
go clear fast.
You just don't. I think if they're good talkers, you're gonna be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got clear at the airport. That has nothing to do with Scientology, huh? It's not like a
Oh,
racketeering
clear.
thing. There's-
It's probably the gateway.
Yeah.
I think
It's very similar because if you're in the train stations in New York, they get you with that little thing.
Yeah.
Like, come and put the buzzer on you, see if God wants you or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? They put the little,
They
they
get you
that book. You want this book?
Right.
Check the buzzer game or whatever.
Right.
And they put evil or whatever on there. And then
Oh,
you
I've
get
never
scared.
seen it.
Yeah. And then
Really?
they invite you to the church. Yeah.
Well, I thought that's if you were you were already struggling, you're in it, then they hook something up to you to see what your vibration is or something, and that's like part of going clear. Like, are you? I don't know.
I got the one that's just I don't know if it's a la carte or whatever, but I got it where they had it all set up right there
Oh, really?
one time. Yeah. And they sit you down, and next thing you know, they're inviting you over to the church. I remember being in New York, man. Dude, first time in New York, I remember getting into a taxi with a couple of ladies. And they invited me over for some, I guess, I didn't know if it was going to be sex or what it was, right? And so we get up to their apartment and they were lesbian women. And so they start, and I'm like nervous and everybody was doing a little bit of coke, you know?
Yeah.
And I was doing it. And so everybody's doing a little bit of coke and that, and they start making out and, you know, just showing tit and all of that. And I'm just like all excited. And I don't know if the cops are going to bust in. I don't know if this is legal. I don't know what's like, it felt like a lot at once, you know? I mean, my first night in New York City ever in my whole life. Yeah. And you've only heard about New York City, you know? New York City, you know? Yeah. And so I was like way scared. And so anyway, I kind of start making out with these chicks, trying my best anyway. And I think because of the drugs and the nerves, I couldn't get erection. So next thing you know, I'm like, I got to get out of here. You know, this is just, it feels a little hot in here, right? Because I didn't know if they were going to mug me. I just didn't know what was going on. Right. Yeah. I didn't believe this could really be happening. Yeah. And then, so I was like, I got to grab something to go with me. I saw they had like a big little Santa sack of sex toys, right? So I just grabbed one of them bitches and put it in the back of my shirt. Because I wanted to have like a memento or whatever, you know.
Your first time in New York, you know.
Yeah, something to take home.
It's like an I Love New York t-shirt. It's your I Love New York t-shirt.
They have those number one foam fingers.
Yeah. You know? It's kind of like that, dude. Yeah, very similar.
Or sex toys.
Or
a number one foam finger.
So I put it in the back of my pants, and then I get over to then I went and stopped in one of those bodegas or something and got me a water and stuff. And I think they just come out with coconut water. So, you know, I was pretty hyped up about that. But I got that and like an orange or something. And when I'm walking out, I realized that whatever I had in my pants had fallen out. And I look back in there and there's like a kid, like a 5 or 6 year old kid, like just swinging around this like wiener. Yeah. This big kind of purplish wiener. And I was like, get me out of this fucking town, bro. I can't live like this.
That kid is probably, his life might be different now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that moment.
He's probably making fucking TikToks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely did not go into his blue collar world that his father wanted him to go to. And it all stems from that story.
Bodega wiener kid.
Bodega, yeah.
Well, that kid was probably up late, so I mean, he's asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy time for a kid to be awake.
Yeah.
People bring kids out late.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of foreigners too, and let's say Middle Easterners, especially like in Irvine, California. If you go to the mall, there's like 1,200 toddlers and infants out there at midnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no bedtime,
and they're all dressed to the nines too.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of like crushed velvet.
Wow. A lot of after party children.
Yeah, something like that.
I watched something like it was like someone at the NCAA. I was watching March Madness last night, and we were saying there's a guy with a baby at the game.
Yeah.
And you're just like, is there not? You don't have anyone in the family that's like, I'll watch the baby. Y'all go to the game. Like people just bring, you know, it's a very loud. It's midnight. It was the game that starts on 9:40 Eastern time, so it's like midnight. Looks like a less than year old. You know, they're like, well, we had to bring the baby. You're like, yeah, but you don't. Is there not? Just no one else. You know, they might have even been supporting someone. We think.
Yeah, like they were watching someone's baby.
Yeah. No, they were like they had like their brother or their nephews in the game. But still, you're like, you don't have an aunt that's not going, you know?
Yeah, I mean, back in the old days, we'd be like, don't bring the baby down by the train or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, that'd be like the only thing that you know, it's like, times are just so different now. I don't think women left the house for like the first year back in the day, though. Now it's like women are like, I want to be out, you know, I want to be working by Thursday. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, you do see that where you can see people like, I had a baby 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Golly, and they're just out.
And they're back at work. They have like the kids like in a little jar, like one of those like kindergarten potato growing things. And you're like, Jesus. It's just a couple of fucking toothpicks coming out of it, keeping it
Do you think,
healthy.
we could eventually get to where people just go take a little longer lunch break and come back with a baby? It's that quick. Yeah. They just pop it out and then.
Well, I think we're in the last times where you will see women actually carrying the child. I think we're so close to the children all being in a center and you go there, you get, do the sperm and do the egg, and then you go back and you go visit the baby and you see it, but you get it when it's full, when it's ready.
Wow,
That's
raised by a
crazy.
center.
I totally think that. It seems like, it almost seems, if you look at a woman carrying something like that in her stomach, well, I think it's beautiful and I think it's the way to do it. I think it's so close to that
is
being
crazy. It could
seeming
be
old fashioned.
Yeah, I think it would be a mistake because I think that's the one of the most beautiful things about being a mother, and something that you have that nothing can take.
Totally.
is the fact that you're carrying a child, and the bond that a child and a mother has is something that's. You can't even really describe it.
Yeah.
It's something more. It's something bigger than it's it's a miracle. It's all that. But it's like, that is true. Like you could probably get to a point where you're not having to have the baby. Because I mean,
but you need to account for like touch and eye contact.
Yeah, but
and
when the
all that
baby's
stuff.
born, then they do it. But I
You don't
think
leave it in there. Like,
you can't leave it in there.
If you leave it in there a
There
couple
has-
weeks late, they're gonna fucking fine you or whatever. They're gonna come bring it.
They would fine you.
People are like,
They would
hey, your
fine
baby's
you.
looking around.
Hey.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, you don't pay the bill, and they're like, "Hey, we got your baby. It's 4, and you're like,
It's like swimming
it's like
in
a
the
it's a library book that you're like, are you gonna come get it? You go, yeah, I'll get it. I'll be down there. I'm coming. I'm on my way. And you're like, God, there you go. Have this kid. And you just gotta have a kid.
And you go down there, and there's like a special little procedure in a room where you get the kid. They maybe like drag a cloth off of it like that. Like,
Yeah. But
You
it's
see
standing up because it's so old now. And it just like unveils it. And he's like, hello. And he goes, you forgot about me. He goes, I know. I've just been so busy. I was drunk one night and I thought, oh, let's go have a baby.
Big baby.
Yeah. And then you got to go get it.
Dude, that could eat. I just think it's getting to that point.
It could. I've never
We're
even thought about it,
centers.
but I could definitely see it.
Yeah, everything's just getting, I mean, we're advancing so fast, you know?
Yeah,
we
it's
are.
getting to the point where the mafia is now a high school kid on TikTok, you know? It's getting to the point, too, where it's like we just watch things, and then since I think imagination is kind of disappearing.
Yes.
So all people are going to start to do is watch what they see on their phones. Like you even see like, there's a lot of videos, a lot of times it's like a black guy like beating up a kid at school or something, I feel like. I don't know if you guys get those a lot, but I get a lot of that. Or it's like you'll see like a kid like beating up a kid at school, right? And then other kids see that, right? And so then it's like, you know that other kids are going to start to just do what they saw in the video.
Yeah.
So now you have kids just beating up other kids just so they can make a video and read the comments of what people say, right?
Right.
It's almost like you're just recreating what we see.
Yeah.
So like whatever you see, since you don't have an imagination of your own, since it's, I don't know, does it make any sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, imagination is key, but I think the thing is that social media and all this stuff is killing people's imagination because it's sitting there and just being bored is okay.
Yeah.
That's what sparks your imagination.
Yeah.
You're forced to use your imagination because you don't have any other stimulus. But now we have access to all this stimulus, so there's no need to sit there. When you're bored, you think something is wrong. When it's not wrong, it's okay. You're supposed to be bored.
Yeah.
It's to work that muscle. Like you're not having to work that muscle
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll disappear over time. Right there, Instagram's co-founder says the app has lost the soul.
Well, people are just posting video. Like none of this stuff is like says they're showing the ounce of your life that's fun. Like that's like, man, you feel depressed. I can feel
Yeah,
it
they
with
feel
like sometimes
depressed.
like following. We follow comics each other and stuff like that, and you're seeing other comics do stuff, and you're like, God, am I doing nothing, dude? Am I nowhere in my career?
Right.
Because I'm watching this person's like on TV doing something, and then
Right.
you once you realize that you got to realize that like no one's doing anything really, even though we think we're all doing everything. It's either someone's really good at showing you that they're good at showing you that they're doing something, but but they're not. No one's doing it. We're all just trying to get by and all trying to like do what we do. And
Yeah, everybody's just trying to get by. Bring that back up. Well, that's always, you have to remember that at the root of all things. Most people are just trying to get by.
yeah,
Now their level or idea of what getting by is, and sometimes it gets kind of greedy or,
Right.
it can get.
Yeah, we all have those emotions, and this taps into the worst part of human beings, I think, because
You
it's
think?
even when you're looking at your own stuff, it brings up a sense of narcissism. Like, how many likes do I get? I want more likes. And then you start scrolling and seeing other people's stuff, and that triggers jealousy. And like, I'm not doing as good, and that's why there's like so much depression from this stuff. I think it's this fake connection.
Well, with kids, for sure.
Oh, I can't
for
even
kids, for
imagine.
sure, but even for us, like we didn't grow up
even
with
for us,
this.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Right.
bad for us. If it's bad for us, to have your brain develop on this is crazy, I think.
Well, that's a good question. It's like, and this article says Instagram's co-founder isn't happy with the direction the platform is taking, claiming it has lost the soul of its original purpose. Knowing in its initial launch in October 2010 by Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, the app grew massively and has gone from a space for friends and families to share pictures of their day-to-day on a feed to incorporating TikTok-style reels, a stories feature similar to Snapchat, and the ability to buy and sell products using Instagram shopping.
I mean, if you're raising a kid without this,
Right.
I don't know how you would do it, but it's tough with all the peer pressure and stuff. But if you could raise a kid without this, like to read a book and to have some kind of like mental grit,
Right.
you're going to be raising a superhuman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
that's a great
everybody
point.
is going to be on this. So it's like if you can raise a kid without that, and then we used to make fun of the Amish growing up and everything, it's like they actually got it right, I think, where it's like just extreme like work.
You're
and
seeing,
you know.
you're seeing how far they are now in life. And
But they're also, I mean, the Amish is out
yeah, like the Amish is like running like they're like I'm joking with you on the I'm not making fun of the Amish, but it's like it's funny to be like, I mean, look, they're obviously doing it right. You're like, I mean, they're I don't know where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought
Yeah.
one of those space heaters from one of them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's nice.
They do
Yeah.
sell a lot of those like heaters online.
Yeah, they're unbelievably at woodwork and stuff. I remember before I moved to New York, I was doing some marble installation, you know, as like a part-time thing, and this was a real beautiful house, wealthy, and we were putting me and a guy putting the marble in, and we were watching these Amish were doing the woodwork, and they were just killing it.
Well, that's what I noticed. Yes, I noticed in Europe, going to Europe, was they just everything's so old there in the buildings, and it just feels it's awesome, and it's like because everything started, you know, so it's been there since you go to a building, it's like it's from 1000, and it's just the culture like feeds into that, like, you know. There's like a tradition that's held because it's so old that these families are like, you got you have just such great tradition, and I don't think we have that. Like, it's kind of like there's not a lot of tradition here, and I'm not saying it's a bad it's just a different kind of thing.
But you were saying earlier, it's like it's a reflection. It's a reminder of what a young country we are.
Oh,
we're like a super young, and we react in a lot of ways like a young country.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and also I think we became the leader so quick or hypothetical leader, if some people would say, like, just because of like the capitalism, the gross GDP or whatever, like we became a leader so fast that.
But we're losing some of that. Well, the tradition of stuff, like
we've lost a lot of
the
tradition
thing that we
fast.
had was family.
Right.
And the core family, and that's the thing that you can see that they have so much of it, because it's just been, they've lived in the same place for 100 years. Their family's been there forever, and so ours is like, you're seeing that's what made us. I think that was the reason we were so good. We had such a big, strong family thing, and then immigrants would come here, and then they would start in their family, and.
When you still see it in the immigrant communities, I think like Mexican people, I think there's still like a lot of big tradition and a lot of Latino
it's
families.
family. We do have that. We had it, but it's like you got to have family.
Yeah.
Family's what
It'll help you keep tradition.
Yeah.
I think.
keeps tradition, keeps your it's like in Hispanic, or it's like Muslim, like all these different they really have the Jewish community. It's all about their family. It's all about like it. You do stuff because your grandparents did it, and you did even properly. You go to I don't know what Jewish people they have. What do they go to?
Synagogue.
Temple.
Yeah, temple. Like they're doing that stuff where it's like we do it because they want to do it and all that. Yeah. And it's like some of that is being lost. And it's like that's
well,
what
in the
you
immigrant
need.
community, it's great because it's like they're come to this country
Right.
and
They
for the
still got that, yeah.
for the American dream. So the first generation always suffers because it's like, okay, now I'm gonna grit, I'm gonna grind it out, I'm gonna have 4 jobs, and then as a result, they always preach education to the next generation. It's like, make sure you're educated, you're going to do better than I did. And then the hope is that they get it and they do better. But in that progression, like 2-3 generations, some of that tradition does get lost inevitably. So now you're this educated moneymaker and you have all this wealth, but you've lost the tradition, the work ethic that has got you there.
Yeah.
Kind of. You're not passing that down to the next generation. The next generation feels entitled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm born into all this wealth. You start to take it for granted versus you're born in gritty and poor, and then you have to you have that mentality. It's like, I'm going to climb out of this.
Well, I don't know if it's possible to teach that. We had little Boosie on here and we were talking with him about it. And even coming up like in an impoverished, he's a black rapper, right? And I'm coming up like in an impoverished area, Baton Rouge, and like really from the streets type of vibe. And he was saying he can't instill that to his children. He said he can't. He just said there's something, and I don't know what type of family, template that they have for him, but he was saying, man, it's hard to just get that next generation to go have the same mindset that you had. I think it's also maybe just the cycle of how things work. It's like, at a certain point, somebody gets so wealthy and then the son is, the dad isn't there to be a part of the son's life. The son's goes kind of crazy, inherits the wealth and loses it all somehow. And it all goes back into the pool. I don't know if that's true, but everything kind of has a cycle in a way.
But as a parent, I think that if you have wealth and you start raising a child, and you have to be conscious of the fact that you're raising this child in wealth. And everybody has this thing where it's like, I don't want him to have the struggles that I had. It's like, no. The struggles made you who you are.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important that even if you have wealth, that you don't make it too easy and that they encounter some resistance, because resistance, that's what makes you strong.
Yeah. Draw a dick on his back, see if he can hide it from mom,
Yeah. We hide my daughter's breakfast every morning.
Fuck yeah.
Make her find it. Sometimes she doesn't eat.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
That's it.
That's it. Every morning's Easter.
You're getting thin, you better get after it.
I then give her $400. So you have a balance that you don't know you're doing it right. You go, she has like 50 grand right now. It's because I've been doing it ever since she was a baby. But you go, but that's she'll be fine, right?
It'd be great. She can't find breakfast. She just orders it out on your phone.
Yeah.
Delivery.
Just wealth on a shelf.
Yeah. I think you have to have that. You got to have an obsession, or especially if they have you can find something to be like, go find an obsession and then go try to become good in that field or whatever it is. Because then you at least can have the grind of you got to start from the bottom in something, especially for someone that would come from that has a ton of money or something. You're like, well, go learn how to become successful in that field where the parent can't help you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like if you let the kid just keep quitting and go, well, they're not going to let me do that. He goes, all right, well, the dad can't force him to the top. So you're like, all right, well, then go try this thing over here. So you got to be like, no. If you love that, then go build up through that world. Then
there's that thing where it's like, well, I don't love it anymore and I don't want to do what I don't love. It's like, no, you have to. You have to create the ability to overcome adversity. That's the big thing. You have to. Overcoming adversity is huge. And if you have too many options, if you have the option to quit everything, then you're not going to be able to, you have to weather that initial adversity. And it hurts, it hurts to fail and to lose. So, you have to be able to overcome that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. I bet it would be a lot tougher to be a parent in some ways. I mean, that's insane for me to really say that, but I bet in some ways it's tough. It's also tough to be a parent if you're wealthy and have wealthy
that's a real
children.
struggle. That's a real struggle because your instinct is to make things easier, and it's wrong.
There's a guy, David Krantz. I think it's his name, Krantz. Can you look him up? He is a therapist that just works with wealth and families and because it's a big problem apparently in those families.
I used to teach kids with behavioral and emotional problems.
Oh, hell, BDLD?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Behavior disabled, learning disabled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behavioral and learning.
Praise God, baby.
And I taught in a city school. I taught in a private kids get thrown out of Philadelphia schools, which was a residential school. So that was pretty wild because we'd have to like physically restrain the kids if they would get out of hand. And then I taught in a city public school, and then a working class district, and then a wealthy. And the wealthy one was really challenging because the parents were lawyers and doctors and all this stuff, and they didn't have like the common sense to kind of. A lot of them did, but some of them didn't have the common sense. And one guy was a psychologist, and his kid was out of control, and it's like he refused just to discipline him, like with just standard discipline tactics, and the kid was out of control. And he like had other psychologists on the phone, and we had this. I was sitting around an IEP meeting, which is what you have with these kids, and all these different professionals, counselor. I was the teacher. You'd have the assistant principal. You had therapists and stuff in there, and it was just. Like the guy was like, I'm like, there's $1 million worth of salaries in here right now trying to figure out like what this kid needs is just the most basic discipline. And he refused to, he thought he could intellectualize his way out of it. Oh, we can think our way out of this. Like, it's like, no, just
do it.
Discipline him. But you discipline him, be like, look, I love you. You tell him why you're disciplining him. It's like, I love you. This is why this is happening.
Yeah.
Because in the future, you're going to be better from it.
What did the kid have anything?
Well, I mean, he's diagnosed with ADHD and all this stuff but he was just the kid was just breaking rules and doing it because he could get away with it.
Yeah.
And instead of going, hey, dude, you can't do that anymore. This is what's going to happen. Instead of just being very direct with him, he's like, well, is there some kind of a behavioral plan that we can get into place? It's like, when he does something wrong, you got to discipline him.
Yeah. Would it like honestly, it'd be like if you want to give this kid a chance, you would just be like, you got to hit him or something. Like, Yeah. How close were you to say that?
No, but because I don't think I don't think like
you got to say that sometimes.
Yeah, hitting is like if you do things the right way, I'd say 98% of the time.
You don't have to
you're going to get 2% knuckleheads where you might have to like have some kind of physical. But if you're raising the kid correctly from the beginning,
you never will.
There's you're just implementing like consistent discipline. You won't have to do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about being excited about spanking your kids in the future? You don't have any children yet.
I don't have kids.
You ever think about it? How you're going to do it? Where you're going to do it?
He's gonna be so old. So
yeah, he'll be like
they'll
turn
dad.
it on me.
Yeah,
was it your dad?
Yeah, he's 70 when I was born. Yeah.
Wow.
You'll be like, you could be my dad. You can have some of his old shirts.
Yeah,
that's great.
I don't have any. His fucking piece of shit other children took them all.
But we could probably find.
But we'll get a hold of some.
But you have 20, and we have a little time before we get to that point. But
yeah, that's true.
So we're fine the shirts.
Do you? Was it hard to edit the special when you guys were kind of putting it together? Did you guys have to pick and choose some stuff? Was everything pretty clear? What did it look like?
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff.
I did it, yeah.
He did everything.
I did everything.
Everything. So
I could think of because I wanted all. I figure shoot long and then you could just edit it. But I went through editing for a long time. So yeah, I was real meticulous about editing it.
And do you help with that, Nate, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I was in on it. I mean, I think he did it, and then Ben Rosenfeld,
who's a friend of mine, a comedian, and he helped me with it. He helped me with a couple of my albums too. So he brought an eye into it, and also just we sat down and just went.
It's good to have someone, when you have to edit your own stuff. It's very hard. It's like you get tired of watching it.
Yeah,
it's good to have. Like I've always done every special that I've done. I've sent it to another comic, Justice Smith. I just sent it to him. Brian Bates. I sent to like the Tennessee. All my Netflix stuff I would send to someone else because you're like I can't. Someone that knows your act. Because it's like it's just so hard to sit there and you're too in.
Yeah. After a while, you don't know if you're being objective.
Yeah.
After watching it so many times, like, is this even good anymore? I don't even know what this is. So it's like somebody's like, no, they can be objective a little bit.
And you almost start to hate it sometimes a little bit too because you just watch it so much. You don't feel like it doesn't have the same punch. Or one day you watch it and your attitude isn't the best. You're in a weird mood.
Right.
And I'll attach that to things quick sometimes.
Yeah, it's very hard to do it. And then, but yeah, we went through the whole process. I did it I partnered with 800 Pound Gorilla too, and so they were part of this. And so they got a great team, and so then they were sending it over and just going back and forth, and he's going through the editing a lot. I mean, a lot of that was I'm letting him decide. I would go look at it in, but it's like you can feel what he's going to know more than me and what to take out and what, you know. But we took out, but the way we started at different, like we did some stuff that was, you know, the beginning of it. I wanted to get right into it, so we have a little kind of an opening thing, but it's all about trying to get into the special quick, hitting jokes. Have a joke that's just boom right when you start. It's like hitting it quick, and then it's, I want to say 53 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's under an hour, like
Under an hour.
Nice.
which I think is
Yeah.
a better way to. I think it's a better way to go now.
Yeah, I don't know why people's attention spans have to be an hour, and especially you guys are doing it that way. You could still then also take clips and put them out and put them together.
There's a lot of material that we can pump out.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And this your first special, Mike? No,
It's my first hour.
first hour.
Yeah.
That's
On
cool.
video. I
Is
did
it
2
an album?
albums before this, but I didn't shoot them.
Yeah.
Video. So
So it's brand new. I mean, all that material even then is,
Yeah.
you know, stuff that people will probably want to see as well, or they'll
Yeah.
go back to it.
Yeah, his album did really, really good.
Yeah.
Like his
the album before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Worst Kind of Thoughtful did well. And yeah.
Was that
this-
with 800 Pound Gorilla too?
No, I did that independent.
Nice, good for you.
Yeah. But I'm really proud of this, and the process has been great. And obviously, I appreciate Nate like bringing me in and directing and all this stuff. So it's I'm really proud of it. It's been a long road with this because I've been working on this, not just getting it together to shoot it, but also the editing and all the other stuff.
It's been a long
800
time.
Pound has been great.
Yeah.
So I appreciate them, but I'm really proud of it.
Yeah. What's a big deal for me to put something out that Mike allowed me to be a part of it, because Mike's that great of a comic. And then it was just such a long process, because then I had my special come out, and then it was like, had to be pushed a little bit, because it was like mine was coming, and we're trying to get, because since it's going on my YouTube, just if my YouTube bumps up after my special, then it's just better. It's better for him and for these other specials. And so it was a long process to do it, but yeah, it'll be March 24th.
And what kind of stuff do we kind of get to know? Because I remember when I was sitting there watching, I didn't know Mike a ton. I knew from like Big J kind of, and just from some different comedy circles. But yeah, you start to get just like this sense of who Mike is. Do you feel that that's kind of what people will pull from it?
Yeah.
I mean, some people are telling jokes, you don't get to know them, you know?
Yeah. Well, Mike tells jokes, but I mean, you also, you're listening to him now, then you see his special. It's like, he's very similar in the fact that like, it's not far off. It's, I was joking, Mike's, it's very serious.
Yeah.
It's because there's no, you're wasting time. You go, what are we even doing here? That's what I think Mike says to his girlfriend he goes, well, what are we even doing? Then like, there's a lot of, but so Mike's got a very,
it's his own pattern.
yes, it's his own pattern.
Yeah.
And it's a guy that really has, came up through the New York system. And like just a lot of jokes, a lot of jokes, and well-crafted jokes, and tried and true jokes. And
I'm definitely a product of the New York system, though, so it's joke heavy. But I like telling jokes, and I like it to be personal, and also I love sarcasm. So I love that. So I tell people up front, like now when I'm performing, I'm like, look, this is a lot of sarcasm, get on board with it. You'll have a much better time if you get on board with some of the sarcasm, and people buy in, and it's great. And then it's joke heavy and personal on top of that.
tell me, what's the, your job and your passion that you tell people now?
What I do is I get up, I tell a couple of jokes. Like, I'm a stand-up comedian. It's my job. My passion is coming to towns like this to talk to low-income whites about vaccinations. I love hashing it out with the low-income whites. I love that. And I always get such a big pop because I'll start out with like three jokes. I'll laugh, and it's like, this is good. It's like, let me tell you about my passion.
Right.
The low-income whites. Love it.
Talk to them about vaccination. Just goes every time. And it's so fun to hear crowds. That gets such a pop, dude.
Well, they probably realize then what's going on. They realize who Mike is. They realize exactly what they're going to be in store for.
Exactly. Like you're like, oh, this dude's like, it's great. Like it's acknowledging the absurdity of it.
Yeah. That's a great way. It just seems like there's
calling
this...
people low-income whites. There's not much funnier than that.
But I love going.
Oh, it's smile when I heard it, man. It fucking made me just. I felt fucking great.
I'm like, I'm a coastal elite.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you. I think that's great.
Man, talking to people about vaccinations, baby, that's just such a funny. You walk in every room you go into, like, just talk to people about vaccinations.
Yeah. Well, dude, I remember when I did tape my special, they made everybody, like 2 days before, they made everybody show up with vaccination stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Because I talked to me. I remember we talked about it.
Netflix made people do that. It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and it was like, I remember you hit me up and you were, because you don't know what to do. And you get stuck in situations like that. And it's that was like such a weird time.
It was 48 hours before. People had already bought all their tickets and everything.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have told them to go fuck themselves, kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. But
I didn't know, you know.
Well, yeah, it's.
Yeah, you don't want to derail. It's a tough position to be in because you don't want to derail the whole.
Yeah,
your head is in another place.
Yeah,
and also, the people are coming.
Well, his entire crowd's not vaccinated. It was 8 people showed up, and then I think it was
the best part was I said thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you to everybody who made fake vax cards and came out tonight. And the place went fucking ape.
That's almost like the thing that you wanted people to. You know, it's like that underlining. Just go. You know what to do. Like it was. You got put in a position that they shouldn't have put you in, and they did it last second. And it was like, what are you gonna go do? You're about to tape this special, all this stuff is being spent for all this kind of, like, you're really got yourself stuck in a situation. And let me tell you, the fact that you almost didn't want to do it because you told me, because you literally told me when this happened. And it was the fact that you were like, yo, I'll just cancel the special. And it was like, look, let's logically think through this. And it's like the thing that ended up, happened where people are like, if you're not vaccinated, it's like, well, then who gave a fake vax card? You're like, we all are having to figure out this kind of thing. And
I wish I'd have just navigated that time period better. It was a hard time to navigate the whole pandemic.
You navigated it good.
Tough, though.
You did
for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, just for everybody, the whole whole way. It's like
I never wanted. I had to fix stuff because I never wanted to. Like, I'm not telling someone to do something. Like that's insane.
Oh yeah, I think
but they would do that.
Do
but theaters would do that with. They would throw it on us. They would say the artist wants the people to be vaccinated, and like so I had a few places that I was like, no, don't say I'm asking people to be vaccinated. Like you want people to, like the city might want to, or the venue might want to, but they would word it because no one wanted to be the bad guy. The venue didn't want to be the bad guy, but the venue wanted it. But they would just throw it on the artist. Yeah. So they'd be like, Theo is saying everybody needs to be vaccinated. You're like, Theo ain't telling people to do that. You're telling people, but you're wording it like it's Theo.
Yeah.
And they would do it like that. I had a couple places that I was like, yo, they got to word that. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not.
Right, don't put
it on me.
Donkey, yeah.
You're the one that's suggesting. Like, so if anybody's going to suggest it, and it is what it is. Like, people are still coming out. But it is what it is, but put that on, you say it properly. Don't try to throw it, because they could just do that
But
to
now,
us.
Nate, is like, if you want to come to my show, you need to be circumcised, male or female.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bit much.
I show them, you have to show me proof that you have no vaccinations, and I'm talking down to flu shot. And I go, I need to make sure, but I'm the new Italian is you need to have no vax blood in you. So that's going to be the new mafia.
That's the new mafia.
The new mafia is you got to be. I want you to be nervous about the measles.
Yeah,
you better be scared about mumps. Is that one?
Mumps is one.
Mumps is one.
I want to be standing on the edge of your bloodstream with a paddle, just like I'm working for the city. Like I want to be like I get sentenced to work over there.
Yeah, you're proud to go. Yeah,
I want you to have local people who are sentenced by the courts to work.
It'd be funny. You have a group of people that are unvaxxed in your mafia gang, and you're like, "What could kill you?" And you're like, "Chicken pox, common cold, flu, we'd be wiped out. But it's like, but there's also something
Yellow
great about
fever.
it. Yellow fever.
Anything from Oregon Trail season,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the fucking modem game.
Yeah.
What else? That's it, guys. I think we did a lot, huh?
I think we did a lot.
I think we've had a nice time.
It
Mike,
was
congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you bet. And Nate, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys put together, man. I'm excited to see it now online, and you know, after having seen it in person. And yeah. And then will you be going on tour right after? Do you have a plan kind of for it, Mike? Or
No, I'm just trying to get the word out as much as possible, and just any, you know, the way I function is like any road dates that come, I just take. You know, if it's, you know,
Yeah,
I
you
hit
got
the
but you got
road
dates
clubs.
lined up and
Had dates lined
your
up.
website. And,
yeah, I don't know when this comes out, but I'll be in Madison, Wisconsin, and at Comedy on State.
oh yeah, I
which
love
is
that
a great
place.
club, and then Tampa Side Splitters at the end of the month.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Tampa's
super.
wild, dude.
Yeah. This
And
is going to be
for-
like your special. This podcast will come out next year.
No,
But,
this will come out. This will be right after your special's out, so it just came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it all right if I just plug my social media?
Yeah, for
also?
sure.
It's
Yeah.
at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms. At Comic Mike V. Repetition helps the low income whites. And and also I have a podcast called Mike Vecchione Investigates. It's a fake investigations show, and it's also I talk down to the listeners. Condescend them.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
It's a new mafia, dude.
Yeah.
So if people want to hear those hands, they can go to your podcast and listen to
Oh, fucking gravity
Is that your
hands.
whole podcast is just loud? Like
My podcast is called Take It Out and Post. It's Mike Vecchione Investigates.
Awesome, Mike and Nate. Thank you guys for hanging
yeah,
out,
buddy.
bro.
You're the best. Dude.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone.